When I find myself in times of trouble, Obi-Wan comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, Yoda walks up next to me, speaking words of wisdom, be it let. What's up, everybody? That's my horrible singing. Welcome to the Nerdrotic channel. What's up, man? It's my show. I can do what I want.
Oh, thank God it's over.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Friday Night Tights podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And down in San Diego is my good friend and co-host and song critic, Dennis Bithoulkas. How are you, Dennis?
I'm doing all right. And a couple people had it on the pool that 10:09 would be our start, our 8:09 would be our start time. And so you guys win. And from an undisclosed location, someplace in the world, we also have Susan Leighton with us. How you doing, Susan?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, Dennis, Gary. What can I say? That singing, it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah, it brought tears to my ears, too. I mean, eyes.
Your ears are bleeding, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. What's up, everybody? This is our regular Friday night podcast where we talk about anything and everything. We don't talk about a particular show, but we will talk about the shows we cover. We are also going to be obviously talking about Star Wars tonight. And it might be for the final time. It kind of blew up. The news really blew up over the last couple weeks, and it's because of Solo, but this is still Last Jedi fallout, and we're going to get into all that stuff, all the news of Kathleen Kennedy. She's gone. Believe me, folks, she is gone. And Star Wars, I don't know if Star Wars is dead, but it's not what it was, and we will get into that. We do like to remain mostly positive on this, so we won't be bitching about it the whole time. Trust me. I saw the super chat there, Dennis, from Movie Fanobi. Susan's deep thoughts, $1.99 tonight only.
Exactly. Thank you, Movie Fanobi.
Do I promise this will be the final time? Viking bitch, as far as Star Wars, as far as the movies, yes. Dennis and I actually had talked about this a year ago of just never bringing it up again. And tonight is the night. Tonight's the night. We're gonna say our piece and focus on positive things, because honestly, what the title of tonight's podcast was going to be was, pick three shows. It was either going to be Westworld, the Expanse, or Legion, with the greater than Star Wars, because that's what they are now.
I do like what Powered by Plants actually says here. Star Wars is dead, but the Expanse lives.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
There's your title.
And I'm wearing my this is my Star Wars shirt. Yeah, this is Star Wars right here. Okay. Game of Thrones, baby. Still a little bit. But I also have to acknowledge that the Nerdrotic channel got our first gift today.
We did.
We did. The amazing Viking bitch sent us, spoiler alert, paddles with, of course, the Viking. That's the compass, right? Is that the Icelandic compass or Viking compass on the back there? I actually have the sticker on my car, Viking bitch, for real. I do. So thank you so much. I love that.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love it.
The wrapped, is this leather? Is that leather or pleather, Viking bitch? I can't tell. But this, look at the dude. She painted that is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks mirrored to me, and I don't know if it's mirrored to you guys, but
no, it's fine. It's actually
it's mirrored to me. So it says Relusp Tlerla or something like that. But yeah. What's up, everybody in the chat? I hope you had a good week. My God, I'm glad to be home and podcasting. This is this is so great. It's fun. So we're gonna rattle down the news, and we also have some Westworld theories that we want to get into later, but that is going to be spoiler territory. Okay, so if you haven't caught up on Westworld,
that is definitely going to be spoiler territory, because we're going to be talking about some theories from Westworld, and there was a big one that I came up with. So that's all I'm going to say. That kind of blew Gary's mind over the week.
It did. I kind of liked it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I like it as a theory. Yeah. If that happened, I'd be totally cool with it.
So our first little bit of news here is that HBO has greenlit a pilot. They have a pilot order at HBO for a Game of Thrones prequel from George R. Martin and Jane Goldman. So you're never going to see that book, that last book from Game of Thrones, ever again, because he's busy working on a new pilot.
Yeah. Go on, Susan.
No, I was just going to say, you guys know who Jane Goldman is, right?
I do not. No.
She is actually married to British presenter Jonathan Ross, who got kicked off the air at the BBC or ITV with Russell Brand because he did phone calls of a questionable nature to another television personality. He's kind of like their Johnny Carson over there.
Okay.
Well, writer Jane Goldman has some awesome credits. Okay. Looks like worked with Mark Millar heavily. We got Kingsman, Secret Service, X-Men First Class, and Kick-Ass. So hell yeah, I am so down with that. Sorry about the phone call stuff and everything. But according to Winter is Coming, a fan-sided website that is a sister site to 1428elm.com. HBO has greenlit a pilot for the highly anticipated Game of Thrones prequel series, according to Entertainment Weekly, with writer Jane Goldman, previously mentioned. Kingsman, The Secret Service, X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass, all great movies, by the way. Along with George R. R. Martin, hopefully in name only, will be the one tasked with bringing this huge and extremely ambitious project to life. HBO released a description of the story for the still untitled prequel series, taking place thousands of years before the events of Game of Thrones. The series chronicles the world's descent from the golden age of heroes into its darkest hour. And only one thing is for sure: from the horrifying secrets of Westeros history to the vague origin of the White Walkers, the mysteries of the East, and the Starks of legend, the First Men, it's not the story we think we know. That kind of sounds rad, to be honest with you. I'm pissed at George, but I'm like, oh, they're gonna go like, they're not gonna go Robert Baratheon prequel, like they're going Age of Heroes prequel. That is, oh my god, I'm geeking out over it again. God damn it, he pulls me back in. In Martin's Song of Ice and Fire series, the Age of Heroes begins with peace between the First Men and the Children of the Forest, and is ended when the Andals invade Westeros. Many of the great houses of Westeros could trace their origins back to the heroes of this age: Bran the Builder for House Stark, and Lan the Clever for House Lannister. And don't forget, yes, there you go, Garth Greenhand. Other notables are Garth Greenhand of House Gardner, the Grey King, House Greyjoy. Did I say Greyjoy? Jesus. From the Iron Islands, Duran from the House Durrandon, Storm's End, and the seat of House Baratheon, and Simeon Star Eyes, a legendary knight. This is going to be rad if they do it right. I'm sorry.
I want to say thank you to Dakota Stanton for the $5. Says, I'm at work, so I don't know how long I can stay, but yay, Age of Heroes.
Yeah, that is great. And listen, it's something that's not bound by the book, and they can actually go off of A World of Ice and Fire on that one. Just use what he's got this all mapped out and the whole history. So I think if they get the right people to adapt this will be fucking awesome, to be honest with you. But that being said, finish the book, George. Finish the fucking book, because guess what? If you don't finish Game of Thrones, it kind of hurts your legacy a little bit. And I'm going to do a whole video about that. And does it sound like fan entitlement? A little bit, but I have good reasoning. I do. He doesn't have to if he doesn't want to, but then I don't have to watch this series if I don't want to either. So
Gary, you can always dress up. You can always dress up as Kathy Bates and go and take him out in the woods someplace and chain him down and make sure he writes it.
I don't need to dress like Kathy Bates to do that. I mean, I just dress like Kathy Bates for fun.
You know? I know. I'm saying
only on Tuesday.
Usual. It's only, yeah, I know.
I mean, that's just a Tuesday for me. So
I know. I've seen it.
So I don't know. What does the chat got to say? Are people excited? Are people over it? Do people want George to finish the book? What do you guys got to say about this?
Bad Bunny asks, what character is Emilia Clarke going to be naked in? Mork says, if he doesn't finish the book, we might risk it being finished by Rianne Johnson.
Oh, God.
He would subvert our expectations. He would re-subvert the subverted expectations. I'm not sure about that.
Oh, come on. He'd make it better. Mako says, leave George alone. He'll finish it if he wants to. There's no beauty in forcing someone. There's a joke in there, but I'm not going to say anything.
No, it's and that's what my video is about. He's actually Mako. He's free to do what he wants. Okay. I'd like him to finish the book, but he deserves all the success he has. He is not our bitch, but like I've said, neither are we. You know. That being said, there's the time factor, and I'll save it for the video. I got a whole video for this, which is it's basically a mutual. Like I wish George would, if he can't finish it on his own time, if he feels like he can't, it's a point. I mean, dude, if he finishes it in a couple years, fine, that's cool. But if he has it, like, you know, if he has his own, sorry, I had got an echo in my head right there. He needs to be honest with his fan base. That's all. And he doesn't have to update them every 2 seconds, but it's starting to get to the point where he feels like maybe he can't finish it, because the last big statement he made on it, he talked about, Tolkien and the Silmarillion, and like how he would like to have finished that, but he didn't. So he started giving hints like, I'd like to finish it, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. So
well, doesn't he have an aversion to deadlines?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think he's ever hit a deadline, has he?
No. He wrote the first 3 books pretty quickly, though. I mean, for his pace, like he wrote them in the space of about 7 years, and then the last 2 books or 3 books we've gotten, it's been like 20 years apart almost. I think all we've gotten is A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons since 1998 or 2000 maybe, I can't remember. So it's been like 16 years we've gotten 2 books. So we're actually pretty close to getting the next one. I think it's maybe 2 years away, but that's not the last one. That's the second to last one. So
Movie Finobi says that prequel era thousands of years ago is where Star Wars should have been exploring.
Totally. Oh my God. Yes. The Knights of the Old Republic, or, even, yeah, that'd be fun. And that's where they can go. And we will be talking about that.
Yes, we will.
What if Martin is just waiting to release the book the same time as the series? I feel that it would be fine if it just came out and said that, yeah. Luke, I would too. I mean, the reason he can't, though, I totally understand. He is getting barraged by people who are saying some pretty horrific shit. I mean, people need to really pump the brakes on that. But that's kind of the internet. Okay, that's the internet. Sorry, if you want to play in the internet, we get shit. Dennis gets shit. I get shit. Like, it's fine. But I don't know. I was always on his side that we're like, he is not our bitch. And I remain that way. But there is another side of the argument that does make sense about time invested, people investing their money and time. And yeah, it is their choice. But, I know he's trying to finish it. Okay. And we'll see. And I'm going to make a completely separate video on this. So watch out for it.
Viking Bitch says, is George R.R. Martin just tired of the story?
I think he's tired of writing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's tired of writing it. And also, he really wants to go into wild cards. For some reason, he really loves it. And honestly, that wasn't that great of a story.
That is his passion project. And I'm not a fan of it, but I mean, that's his passion project. And that's, and honestly, he's free to do, he's got the money now and he's cashed in. But yeah, I think it just became too big for him to finish. And he might have written himself into a corner a little bit here on a couple, like, the Doran storyline, even though I still like the Doran storyline. It's, I don't know how necessary it is. Maybe it's going to be huge. We'll find out. And what happens, Viking Bitch, though, is he keeps changing. What he does is he's an editor too, and he just re-edits his own stuff and he keeps changing the ending. So there's just tons of rewrites going on. I mean, who knows exactly what's going on? He has to write at home on that old computer. And I totally get that. I get the whole, superstition thing. And this is what I'm comfortable on. But yeah, and we'll get the book when we get it. I mean, nothing I say or anybody, anything anybody is going to say is going to change his mind.
Brian, how's it going? Brian Smart's in the chat.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, So Mako says, if you want your fantasy fix, you can always read Malazan Book of the Fallen, best fantasy book series out there. 10 1,000-page books plus a prequel and a sequel trilogy by Steven Erikson. Steven Erikson. There we go. Miko says, and the story is finished there. It's literally the best fantasy book series. Google it. Won't be sorry.
Sure. I'll check it out. That sounds awesome. I only like a particular, I don't like all fantasy. It's got to be, you know, it's a certain time, just like, I don't know, this is gonna sound bad. I like really good fantasy. I don't like, you know, and I know there's a lot of so-so stuff out there that people love. I'm not into that. It's got to be awesome or nah.
Yeah, pretty much the only fantasy stuff that I've been reading, you know, that I've read that I like is Conan, you know, the original Conan.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff.
And of course, Called the Conqueror and Bran McMorn and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, but that's like pulp fantasy.
Yeah, that's really
putting it down.
Fantasy.
It's great, but you know, I like the whole world building stuff, and you know, I love that. I love that. So yeah, we could jump on to our next thing of news.
Yeah, we're gonna go jump over to our next little bit of news, which is Westworld theories. Excuse me. God, my throat just all of a sudden decided to crap out there for a moment. So we have Jeffrey Wright saying that his Westworld character is based on a Reddit user. Susan, you want to go ahead and run with this one since you were the one who dug this one up?
Yeah, sure. Well, Jeffrey did an interesting interview with, I believe it was The Verge, where he was talking about the fact that he was startled, just like probably the rest of the viewing audience, to find out he was a host. He had no idea. And when it was explained to him, the producer, who's normally very articulate, she didn't know how to break it to him. That, you know, this is actually what you are, Jeffrey. So he said, jokingly in the article in The Verge, he said that he feels that his character is based on one of the Reddit fans that always tries to decipher the show every Sunday night on Reddit. And he said, you know, then he got serious and he said, you know, a lot of the times when I'm staring off into the distance, it's not just staring. I'm actually acting, I'm actually editing, and I'm also envisioning. So he's basically putting himself in the fans' shoes and telling them, yeah, I'm just like you. I'm discovering what my character can do. And I think it's kind of interesting that they chose not to tell him right at the beginning that he was a host, because a lot of times, and I find that this is becoming a convention in television a lot, is when plot points aren't given to the actors or actresses so that it can come across very real when they find out what's happening. And that usually goes for, like, if their character is going to be, you know, going to die or have an accident. And in his case, it was more, you know, benign, but still, you know, enough to make a directional change for what he might have planned to do with the character. So I just thought that that was very, very interesting that he likened himself to a Reddit user.
Very interesting.
That is cool. Yeah, I saw that post and somebody had actually posted that in Reddit. I found it there. I was poking around Reddit to see if anybody was close to Dennis's theory. There is a couple people who are kind of in the ballpark, but not exactly. And I think they're really friendly to social media, and I like how they absorb it into their show. I think that's smart. And you know, it's in a time of broken fan bases, there's still like some great examples of some really good fan bases. Westworld's a relatively new one. They're really good. Expanse is really good. Legion is picking up. It's got one. I didn't know it really had one, but it does. It's even got, it's got a pretty good Reddit. Viking Bitch, I did say it's totally off subject, but I read about a study that said men who take lots of mushrooms and LSD are emotionally stable, and way less likely to be abusive partner.
Oh, wow.
What about ones who used to?
Very interesting.
Well, probably because they're happy all the time.
So we're going to go into a little bit of spoiler territory here. So spoiler alert. We're going old school and new school with those. With my theory. So those of you who don't want to know about Westworld or haven't caught up yet, go plug your ears or take a little break here. We did use the new sign marks. Gary held it up right there.
Right here.
There it is. So what was bothering me is what Ford's theory, what Ford's motivation was, why he's screwing around with William in this, and why he's fixated on William. And it just seems, more than fixation than just, he bought the company out. And then he said a line that reminded me of another character. And that was also bothering me because he said in the last episode, strike the match.
It was also, let me add, the description. HBO is very cryptic with their descriptions on Game of Thrones and Westworld. So they're usually, that's, by the way, any description I do for the podcast, I totally rip them off. Did the Warriors just win? Sorry. The Warriors must have just won. You're going to hear a lot of explosions in the background because the Warriors just won.
And gunshots and things like that.
And gunshots. Yes. You will not be able to decide to. But yeah. So where was I? Okay. So yeah, go on. So their description was strike the match for last
Strike episode. The match. So yeah. So Ford had said strike the match in the last episode. And who is the other character who said strike the match? That's right. It was Logan. Logan said strike the match to Dolores when Dolores was out in the real world. And I got to thinking, okay, so Logan supposedly died of a drug overdose, but who has the biggest beef against William? It's got to be Logan, because William has taken his family company. He basically took his dad, threw him, tried to revive him as a host. His sister committed suicide because of him, because he was cheating on her by going into Westworld and, screwing around there and not really being who he was there to her. And ousted him out of the company as well. So basically took his company and neutered him. And I started thinking, okay, well,
my house. Sorry, that fucking explosion shook my house. God damn! I don't know if you guys heard that, but dude, my whole thing just shook. Go on. Sorry.
Wow. So I started thinking, well, maybe Logan is actually Ford. Ford could be. We saw Ford as a real person, but maybe he did the same thing that they've done with Bernard, with Arnold, where they just kind of created the Ford character, where Ford was this real person who died. And then Logan took him, because since they own the company, and built him up as a host, built this artificial intelligence, the artificial construct, if you will, the host, and made Ford. And is actually piloting him and is living in the Matrix, or the cradle, if you will.
Yeah, and the reason he said strike the match is because Ford looks really pissed at humanity, but it was Logan who was pissed at humanity. Like when he knew this was coming, he's like, "We're gonna get taken over and fuck these assholes." Do you think Logan? Okay, and another thing was Delos calling for Logan. During the Delos experience, I thought that was odd. Why was he calling for Logan? So, I mean, any theory is open in Westworld. There could be holes in this. I haven't super thought about it, but it sounds as good as any to me. I'll be honest with you. He's not smart enough. That's the only thing. So he might have had help from somebody, or maybe he is. Maybe he is intelligent, but he's just like really. He doesn't have a lot of self-control. That one.
Mark Maginot says, what do you think about the theory that the Valley Beyond is a cradle for guests with a simulation of the world?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too, that is where the repository of all this information that they've been gleaning from all the guests, that's where it's at. It's in the Valley Beyond.
Yeah. AI development scares me, especially how other countries will just say are trying to militarize it. Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah,
if they haven't already. Yep, and my boy Elon. It wasn't Elon. It was
Bezos.
it wasn't. No, who was warning us against it?
That was Stephen Hawking.
And and I think it was Stephen Hawking. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that was
Logan.
I was hit with it all of a sudden. Right.
Logan is Delis's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and they threw some pretty big hints out there to make me believe that like, because I was asking the entire last podcast, I'm like, I really need to see why Ford hates humanity so much. I need to see why he hates William so much, because I just didn't get, other than being two business titans who just want to fuck with each other. There's got to be more to it than that. So, and the stuff that's going on right now is very series finale stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking we're going to get some kind of hard reset or something at some point.
And the other thing was, we haven't seen that much of Logan. It was kind of the same thing with God, now I just blanked on his name.
He's shooting Punisher right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, but Elsie and Stubbs disappeared the same way in the middle of last season, where we didn't see anything about them until the beginning of this season. Yeah, where they just kind of bring them back in. And so I was like, okay, Logan just disappeared. We just got an off-screen, we get an on-screen mention that, he died of a drug overdose years ago. It's like, okay. So it just seemed very weird to me.
Alex Utopia, communist sex bots. That's how it's all going to end.
Well, of course.
Well, it could be worse.
We have them.
It could be, communist kill bots. At least it's sex bots. Get a little bit of pleasure before you go. The valley is the cradle for humans. Also heard a theory that there's a storage of human host bodies which Dolores intends to upload a third of the hosts to infiltrate the world. Says sanity is radical. Yeah, that's I like that name, by the way. That is actually a thought I had, that I think we're going to get infiltration. And we did talk about it a little bit in the recap, that this is all leading, they show Westworld functioning. I am going to kind of miss seeing functioning Westworld. I did like that a lot. And it's going to be called Westworld, but we're going to start going into the real world. And this is going to be straight up, robots versus humans, which I don't have a problem with. Honestly, sounds kind of fun. And it's a 5-year plan. So we're getting 5 seasons. That's it. So I love that. I love that idea.
I think that's a great way to approach it, honestly.
I think, right. Susan, you were talking about the 3-year formula, and maybe that's we should see a lot more of that,
Yeah. It sounds like Westworld's already on board with it. So kudos to them.
Yeah. Look at it as a movie. Okay. So your movies of the future are going to be 3 to 5 season TV shows. And then if you want a sequel, you'll get more, probably with a different cast, but you get a much better story.
It's what the old telenovelas used to do a long time ago. They'd run for 5 years with a 5-year plan. Then when they got to the end of it, if it was popular enough, they take those same characters and they do a spin-off on it and do another story. And that's what you do.
Yeah, I was going to say for our international viewers, but they probably know. So we have a basketball team over in the East Bay called the Warriors. They just won the NBA championship. So that's why if you hear explosions in the background, people are partying their asses off right now.
And they swept, did they not? Was it 4-0?
They swept. It was 4-0 sweep.
Yeah.
Sports talk on Nerdrotic.
That's about as deep as we get. That's why I was like, did they?
The scores.
So they scored the touchdown and they hit the goal, and that was it.
Oh my God.
That's right.
And it was 40-love.
It was 40-love, and they all skated home. So.
Goal! There you go. That's all I'm going to do.
It's Babylon 5 all over again, 5-year plan. Yep. We are going to be covering Babylon 5 too. I promised that. And Stargate, and we're going to do it all. We're going to do it all. You know what? The Prisoner too. I want to do the Prisoner.
Oh, that was good. I love the Prisoner.
What was that, Susan?
Want to bring back Patrick McGowan's The Prisoner, huh?
Oh yeah.
Listen, it was a good sign that my first Farscape podcast got over 1,000 views. That was good. That means, like, I don't know if we can do individual episodes on everything. I don't think that's possible, but there is interest in it, which means we'll do more. And that would be fun. Just because we could do TV shows for days, and that's how I can get you guys daily content. Because right now we're still tied to TV shows a little bit, and when they come and go, we come and go.
Yes. So speaking of coming and going, see what I did there?
I saw what you did there.
Nice segue.
Yeah, last weekend, Deadpool regained the #1 spot from Solo in Solo's second week. And Solo sunk pretty miserably overseas. I believe the entire the worldwide gross for that first week was only like 168 million, something like that. And then that second weekend was, they said it was $25 million is what it sunk down to domestically. And they were trying to say, Solo failed due to poor marketing. That Disney didn't promote it enough, and they blamed everything except for the movie itself.
Yeah, and God, there's been somebody even joked about it last night in the Cloak and Dagger recap I did. It's like, you really want to jack up your subscriber count, just like make daily videos bitching about Star Wars, and which is like, no, I would not do that to you. But I kind of said it, and this is what we're going to go over today. So it wasn't the marketing. I know a lot of people have said that, but that was definitely part of it. But they're really trying to avoid the truth here. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is aside from, if you like Last Jedi or Solo, that is cool. I like Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance because I like Ghost Rider. It is okay to like something, but nobody can come at me now anymore and tell me these are good. What happened? Actually, Solo was not as bad as Last Jedi at all. It was like an okay movie. It was kind of a bad ending.
It was like a TV movie of Star Wars. It wasn't compelling enough to be in the theaters, but I would have watched it on TV. That's pretty much how it went. And the other thing was with the marketing, I remember they didn't even really promote it as a Han Solo movie. They just kind of promoted it as another Star Wars movie.
No.
I'm sorry. All I was going to say is Price Waterhouse did their social media arm actually looked into the marketing, and they mapped it down to the fact that in Rogue One, you see Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso for 35 seconds. You see Alden for about 10 seconds or less as Han. And they're saying that's part of the reason, because the audiences didn't get an introduction to him as Han Solo.
Yeah, and it's gotten, so a large movie that fails this miserably now, actually now has just coined a phrase because of this. It's called the Solo effect. This is a real thing now. This is what they're calling it. So
you could call it. And as with a lot of names, it's misnamed. Okay, because this is actually, this is what happened to the DCEU. It's a complete 100% perfect reflection of it. This is the same damn thing happened to Justice League that happened to Solo. And the fallout wasn't necessarily on Solo or Justice League. It was from the previous movies. Okay, so Last Jedi split the fan base right down the middle. It destroyed the character of Luke Skywalker forever, and it hurt your brand forever. There's no coming back from this. You can, by all news accounts, Kathleen Kennedy is gone, and in a second I'm going to show you, and a bunch of people have done videos on this. But this is a great correlation of what happened, why she is gone, and they're firing her with dignity and blah 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 and all that stuff. But it's people overthinking the obvious. You came out with 2 bad movies in a row. Okay, your brand wasn't doing great from the begin with. You used up your goodwill way too soon. Okay. The Force Awakens, I can be convinced that a lot more people liked it that didn't like it. I can totally be convinced of that. I liked Rogue One. I thought it was pretty good. That was a pretty good movie. But Last Jedi, like, just did it in. And it was as simple, and we've said it before, and I said it in my Last Jedi review, that Luke Skywalker, if you just had him fighting at the end, you solve all your problems. That's it. It was that simple. So it was just people got 2 bad movies in a row, and you have lost the general public. You haven't lost the Star Wars fans.
It's like I had a conversation with Dennis this week about why isn't anybody talking about the elephant in the room? I mean, there's many of them, but the one elephant to me is Ron Howard.
Yeah.
If you like Ron Howard, I'm going to apologize for what I'm going to say, because I do like him as a dramatic director. Okay. But with a property like Star Wars, he clearly was not the right choice. This is what I think. And I think when you have a script that's pretty effed up to begin with, and then you add a director who maybe this isn't his field of expertise, you add that into the mix, you're going to get a disastrous film. Now, I'm not saying that, Solo was a disaster, but it's just nobody's talking about Ron Howard, and I get it. He's a national treasure, but somebody needs to talk about it, because it clearly was not a good choice.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, Ron Howard, he is he's what you hire when you want to do a safe movie. When you want to just make it kind of a
and that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, it's a middling movie, something that you would do that like a made for TV movie or movie of the week kind of thing. Something that, I mean, okay, granted, he did Splash and stuff like that, and Apollo 13, everyone brings up, but it was like there was no real.
Dennis, yeah. This we reported on this. Okay,
yeah.
They knew this was going to fail. This is spin right now. There was people coming out on YouTube, and people shit on YouTube all the time, dude. Every single, I wish I could collect of some of the Star Wars people and some of the not Star Wars people. Everything they said has come true. Every single thing they said, oh, that's bullshit rumor. They knew this was going to tank. That's why they didn't put enough money. They didn't put a bunch of money in the marketing. They had no confidence in Alden Ehrenreich. He obviously had to get acting lessons because they kept him out of half of the trailers. If it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. They knew it was going to suck.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think Kennedy thought she would lose her job. Okay. And, she didn't do her job. And what's a great example here, Dennis, is the firing, or the Diane Nelson left DC today. She ran DC and she left DC today, but she has been on a leave of absence for months.
Yeah.
Okay. Kathleen Kennedy now has been out of the public eye for a while. So she's going through the exact same thing that Diane Nelson is doing. They're firing her. They're giving her a nice severance. They're letting her go on her own terms. Kathleen Kennedy, the rumor is right now, she's going to name her successor, quote unquote, in September. Again, to go out with dignity. She deserves that. She's produced a lot of movies. She just wasn't very good on the creative side, and that sucks. And no, it will not be John Lasseter replacing her. Okay, because Dennis will have news on that later. But Diane Nelson's, she little heartfelt letter here to her creative team. I'm not going to read it to you. You can go there. Seems like a nice enough lady. She really did try at DC. It might not even have been her fault, but apparently after Justice League failed, heads rolled at WB, like completely. It was a bloodbath. And this is what's happening to Kathleen Kennedy. It's the same exact thing. And if you look at the correlation, a big name director comes in to try to fix a movie from another director, spends a lot more money. It fails miserably. Ron Howard, Joss Whedon, whatever. It really wasn't even Ron's fault. Ron picked up what could have been a better movie. I think Lord and Miller did make a turd. Who knows? I don't think so, though. I kind of think they would have let him finish.
Supposedly they were trying to change the script, and then what happened was they had filmed a portion of it with their own script, and that's when Kasdan came in. He complained to Kennedy who came in and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And when they brought Ron Howard in, they're like, "Here's the original script, go with it." And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And
so you can't blame Ron. I mean, Ron Howard is one of the most technically good directors there is in Hollywood, like a pro's pro.
Right.
And a nice guy to boot. Like everybody says he's a nice guy. He's not all Hollywoodized and stuff. And I love Opie. I love Richie. Okay. I'm not, listen, I don't like Willow. I know a lot of people do, and I've gotten a lot of shit for that, but
I don't like it either. So
I don't like it either.
And that's fine. And I know people love Star Wars, and as we've said before, if it does sound like we're shitting on it, because we feel like you, the Star Wars fan, deserve better. Okay. You deserve better than what they gave you. They treated you, for lack of a better term, they treated us Star Wars fans like punks. Like we're going to just eat up anything. We're going to do anything that they
slap the Star Wars name on it and they'll buy it, kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And that sucks.
And I also want to say that Price Waterhouse report also mentioned that Dave Filoni, because Alex Utopia here said Dave Filoni should get her job and manage the whole Star Wars thing. The Price Waterhouse report said that Dave Filoni should be promoted upward within the Star Wars franchise.
Oh, I think he will be.
Yeah.
But I'm here to say it's too late. It's too late now. I'm not saying Star Wars is dead. It is certainly not dead. But I think as far as films are concerned, I mean, I'm so completely out. I don't care. I'm apathetic at this point.
You know what's interesting is that you mentioned about the fact that they didn't really promote Solo and all that. It's interesting because Price Waterhouse, in addition to mentioning Dave Filoni should have the job, they also hinted at nowadays social media through social media, marketing for studios can track what audiences think, what the buzz is regarding a franchise or a film, and they can choose whether to market it heavily or not market it. So hypothetically, maybe they caught wind that Solo wasn't going to be what they thought it was, and they didn't drop the bucks into the promotion. That's just kind of what I got the subtext from that in the article.
Well, and like I said before, that had been reported 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Here on YouTube. And we actually reported it on our Friday night podcast. I mean, it was rumors at that time. But usually it's the studio themselves floating out these rumors. When John Campea came out with his video, 5 Reasons to Get Rid of Kathleen Kennedy, his biggest detractor turning on him, that was the studio floating him a rumor to keep him A, relevant on his channel, and B, to show that this is a Kathleen Kennedy supporter now coming out against her. This is how studios work. It sounds very tinfoil, and it's true. It is. I'm not going to say that's exactly what happened, but so watch Swimming with Sharks. Great movie, and it really tells you what's going on. The reason I say it's too late, and I'm sorry to say this, I don't want to say this, but it's casual fans that drive the market. Okay, it's not the super fans, not the Uber fans. The Uber fans are always going to be there. Okay, so and you Uber fans, I can't count myself as a Star Wars Uber fan anymore. Are a small percentage of what goes and buys the toys and stuff like that. It's families on Christmas and blah, blah, toy sales are down. So basically what I'm saying is Star Wars as a brand will always be strong, but it's not the brand, and it never will be anymore. It's done. They've done so much damage to the elite brand of Star Wars. I don't think they can topple the brand of Star Wars. But you had one shot of bringing Luke, Leia, and Han back, and that's what you did. That's what you did, and that's done. We live in a weird reality right now. So I'm sorry to report that, but there's still plenty of EU fans out there. There's plenty of Rebels fans and animated fans. And there's a lot of good side stories that the hardcore fans you're always going to have that, but it's not going to be the be all end all anymore. Actually, Marvel is now.
And I also want to reiterate what Gary was saying here about the marketing. And I've said this before, and he's hit the nail on the head on this back when Mel Brooks did Spaceballs, and he was talking about the marketing in that movie. He summed it up fairly well of exactly what these Star Wars movies are there for. The movies don't make the money. It's the merchandising. and it's the merchandising that sells everything.
Always has been.
Yeah, and when your merchandising is tanking and just sitting on the shelves rotting, that was the other sign that this was not going anywhere.
Oh yeah. And YouTube channels getting huge over the descent. The problem is what happens after. We're in the 5 stages of grief right now with Star Wars. And I have reached acceptance. There's apathy. You can, but I've reached total acceptance. Like, I'm cool. I'm like, whatever. They can keep making them this way. I'm fine. I don't care. But what's going to happen now is see, George knew when to take breaks. George did oversaturate things, but he knew when to pump the brakes. Like when Disney used to vault their movies for years. So people wouldn't burn out on them. And that was a Walt Disney. That was genius marketing. They used to vault their movies. And Star Wars, everybody thinks Star Wars has been this rock solid brand for 40 years in a row. And that's just not true.
No.
It's so not true. Star Wars has disappeared. It disappeared as recently as after the Clone Wars. I know people were like, no, we were in the video games. But as far as the general public was concerned, the comic sales went to, the Dark Horse ended up getting rid of them because they were kind of, I know Marvel grabbed them back, but they weren't really selling that great for Dark Horse. The merchandising was doing okay, but it wasn't always this rock solid brand all the time. And that's not true.
When Lucas had the franchise, like you said, it was anticipation, and that's why those films did better. People knew that they weren't going to turn around and 3 months later there was another film. You had to wait a couple of years, and you were excited with that. You were like, what's happening? What's going on, up at the ranch? What are they doing? There was that anticipation. But when you know that a movie's, going to come out, like 90 days after the last one or 120 days, how excited can you get?
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything to the story either.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Let's
find out what the chat's got to say about that.
Mako says Dave Filoni can't produce. They should put John Lasseter, Me Too or No Me Too. John Lasseter is a fantastic producer and he loves the craft. He did wonders with all the Miyazaki films and Disney. Well, John Lasseter, so this just kind of leads into our next story here. John Lasseter is out. He is going to leave Disney at the end of 2018 to go and pursue other creative avenues, as he says. And this is mainly because of, what's been going on. Supposedly he was very harassing to some female workers. They didn't like the way, not harassing, I should say. He was very handsy, very touchy-feely. He liked to hug. He liked to kiss, and it was a lot of unwanted attention. And that is why he is leaving. He took a little time off, about 6 months, and is now going to be going away from Disney.
Yeah. Now, I guess there's people out there who might think, well, it's Lucasfilm, but no. I don't think so. I honestly don't think he's the right guy for the job either. There is a lot of scuttlebutt about Kevin Feige. And I don't think he's the right guy for the job either. I think, Kevin Feige is a Marvel geek. That's why it worked for Marvel. And let's not forget that Disney did not start the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have shepherded it very well, but they did not start it.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't start the Star Wars universe either, obviously.
No.
And they haven't shepherded that one as well because they decided to stay with someone who, and I'm just going to flat out say it. I think Kathleen Kennedy never really was a part of the fandom or the story, and was just there for the production.
No. And God, again, Dennis and I said this many moons ago. When things get too big, they get I said this in our second Marvel versus Star Wars podcast. It was too big to succeed. And that's a thing in art. It can happen because too many people, too many agendas, too many things want to grapple onto your thing so they can get their message out because your thing is the big thing. It's the big beacon of light and they want to attach themselves to it. And too much got attached to Star Wars. So they started bringing real world politics into Star Wars. It was like subtle, but it still was enough to rip you out of the movie. And it's just like, what? That was craziness. And, everyone's to blame except Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up is the treatment of fans, painting fans with a broad brush. Yes, there's a vocal minority set of asshole fans in every fandom. And that's the internet again. Welcome to the internet. But if you, by lumping in critics with the assholes, just so you become critic proof, that shit's not going to fly anymore. It's not going to work anymore. Okay. You can't call everybody, a broad generalization because they don't like your movie. Okay. And that's it. And you gotta, there's a certain amount you have to take, and you do not fight with fans ever. Like ever. It never works. It just never works. So
if she lumped in critics or journalists with fans, that's not smart. They're two separate entities. Yes, you can be a journalist and you can be a fan, but your job is not to be biased. Your job is to look at the film as a totality, as, okay, so you are a Star Wars fan, but take into account, what is this film? You can't be blinded by fandom. And if she lumps journalists in, she's going to end up alienating them. At least this is my view of it.
Agreed. I'll just equate it to my comic store. All right. I'm in the comic store. A guy walks in, calls me an F&A hole. Okay, bye. You're a jerk. You're an asshole fan. And it happens. It was San Francisco, but it was like 1 in a zillion. But fan comes in and goes, you recommended me Marvel Spider-Man One More Day. I want to talk about like why you recommended this piece of shit to me. I got to listen to him. Okay, I'm going to go, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't have listened. I shouldn't have recommended Spider-Man One More Day. That was on me. That was a bad story. I gave you, here's your money back or something like that. But I at least owe him an ear. There's a difference between those two complaints. And they're trying to say that all those two complaints are the same thing, which they are not. And again, you rise above that. You are the actor. You are the producer. You are the director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson. You do not engage people on Twitter and he's in the public eye. So he's going to get weirdos giving him shit. That's part of the internet. Block people. You can block people on Twitter, or you can not have a Twitter account.
Well, actually what bothered me with him the most was he would come out with another video like every day, it seemed like, explaining, okay, this is what I meant in this part of the movie. It's like, then why didn't you show that in the movie?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, this is what I meant when I meant, when this is happening, this is what happened here. Oh, this is what this meant here. And it's like, dude, if that's what you were meaning, put it in the movie. It's the same thing with Chris Carter in X-Files, where he said, oh yeah, and by the way, their son was immortal. That's the reason why everyone was after him. I'm like, then why in the hell didn't you put that in the fucking show?
Well, Viking Bitch was great. She and I had a little exchange on Twitter. She retweeted, or no, maybe it was Feisty Fan. I'm sorry. Feisty Fan retweeted a Mark Hamill tweet at Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson said that the best place to watch The Last Jedi is on an international flight. And Mark Hamill responded, well, yes, Ryan, because people can't get up and walk out of the theater. And I laughed so hard.
I love you, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, I love you. I thought that was a great retort. And very funny, but also very telling. Yeah. And, people could say that Hamill is being a jerk, and he's becoming cantankerous in his old age. But you know what? He was a young man when Luke was a young man. Yeah. They grew up together. He's got that relationship with Luke that no one will ever have. So when something happens to the franchise, you're going to be a little upset because that is your baby. That is your creation. Yes, Lucas wrote it, but Mark Hamill embodied it.
Yeah, Mark Hamill knows that character. He knows that character better than George does. Okay.
Yeah, and especially when he went to Rian Johnson and told him, I don't think this is right. And he was fighting about it. with him, and Rihanna was like, no, trust me, it's gonna work. And he did it the way Johnson had done it, and of course it didn't come out right.
There's a video that was John Talk Star Wars, or one of the Star Wars guys put out, of a young Rian Johnson talking about making a Star Wars movie and wanting to piss half the people off. And the video's out there. Go check it out. And he succeeded. He succeeded. He pissed half the fucking people off. The only way you fix Star Wars right now is the way they're not going to do it. That would be A, take responsibility, admit you were wrong and you fucked up. Then B, say 7 and 8 don't count. We're going to stop production on episode 9 right now. We're going to get George back, not as a director though. And we're getting Harrison Ford. You too. Your ass is coming back too. Because I don't care I don't give a shit what Harrison Ford thinks about Han Solo as a character. Okay, it's bigger than him, but he needs to. I don't care that he wanted him to die, and I don't care if he dies. Die better than you died, and redo the next 3 movies. And they're not gonna. That's the only way you can salvage Luke, Leia, and Han, which is so much money you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose so much money on comic sales and toy sales now because, believe me, this played into the Solo movie. I'm walking in and watching a dead guy. I'm watching a dead character, a character who died. He died badly. Did not die heroically, died badly.
And this leads into a question from Morks. How do you think the current status of Star Wars will affect all the investing the Mouse House is doing on their parks, hotels, etc.? It's going to kill it. They are in the midst of, building all this stuff, but there's a lot of people right now. We talk about Star Wars fatigue too. That was part of it as well. Yeah, people are going to be tired of it, and they're going to go someplace else. They're going to go, well, you know what? I don't need to see that.
I don't think there's Star Wars fatigue. I think it's bad movie fatigue.
Yeah,
I think if those were good movies, they'd be hotter than ever because and it's also Star Wars is not the fucking MCU. You cannot make a big sprawling thing with all these different characters. There's only a few characters that people give a crap about, and there's one great character that they haven't put in the movies, and I hope that like this current administration never gets their hands on Ahsoka, so like just leave her out of it until and that's even got kind of messed up because they didn't incorporate it as much as they should have. It's too late, and we were wondering about that. We're like, why would you build Star Wars Land before Marvel Land? Like that never made any sense. For one, you could have better rides with Marvel Land. You have more characters. You have more potential. Like with Star Wars Land, you got the Millennium Falcon and a Death Star and a Darth Vader, and you're just going to show the same 5 characters over and over and over and over again. With Marvel, you can cycle through characters. You can like do Cap and Iron Man, then bring in Spider-Man, and then bring in the X-Men. You can do that forever. There is 5,000 characters in the character catalog of Star Wars, but not too many people know the first 100. But I guarantee you a lot of people know the first 100 of Marvel characters. I'm not saying these characters are bad, but I just thought that was a weird decision because they were going to go Marvel Land and they flipped it to Star Wars Land.
Yeah. I'm going to answer. Sanity is Radical says politics have been overtly laced through Star Wars since 1977. Actually, what Star Wars started off with was the Nazis versus the Allies is what it was.
It was a World War II thing.
It
wasn't, I mean, it was political in the sense of the good guys and the bad guys, but it wasn't. I hear that argument, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with you. This was personal politics injected in, not metaphor politics. There's a big difference. Okay. Yes, of course there was politics because there was the Empire and the And George came out. I've never heard this, by the way, but George came out recently. I heard somebody say this, and I can't corroborate it because I heard a YouTuber say it. And I've never fucking heard that George say he did Star Wars because of the Vietnam War. And I'm like, what? I've heard World War II. It's definitely, it's all based on World War II, just the films that we all watch when we were kids and stuff. And yes, personal, real world today politics inside a Star Wars movie. Where were they in the original trilogy? Now I'm not talking about the prequels. When my frame of reference for Star Wars is the original trilogy. Okay.
Yeah. That's the original trilogy. When it was happening, the first Star Wars, and it came out in 1977, there was a huge push for ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment for women. I know because I was alive at that time.
Yeah,
I know because I had older sisters that were actually part of that movement. There was nowhere in Star Wars. We had a strong female character.
Yeah.
But she had to be rescued by men. Okay, there you go. So it's not part of the ERA. It's nowhere near that.
There was no real world. Yeah, there was no oil shortage in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
That was going on at the time.
Yeah, there was lines of cars.
There wasn't 50 hostages taken, in Empire Strikes Back.
George was doing his version of a Western in space.
Yeah.
Where the good guy wears black, Darth, and the bad guy wears black, Darth. The good guy wears white, Luke, and that's what I thought he was doing. I never saw politics in that film when I saw it in 1977.
I actually hear that argument a lot for comics and stuff because, yes, politics have always been in comics, but there's a big difference between the politics we get now and stuff and like the politics in the past. It's also the craft, the talent of the writer. Okay. I always use this example. Alan Moore is a crazy man who I love. And I do not agree. I do not believe in witchcraft, and I believe in some woo-woo stuff, but I don't believe in witchcraft and stuff. But like, I'll read his writing about it, and he puts a bunch of his personal stuff into his writing, but he's so fucking good at it, you don't notice it half the time, or it makes sense within the story, and you go, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, it's like Jack Kirby, my favorite story, and I've said this before, is when he was doing Black Panther. The editors said there are not enough white people in Black Panther. So he said, okay. So he put a Ku Klux Klan member being punched out by Black Panther.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're gonna take that out? No, I don't think so. Yeah. No, that's a good story. That's a good story. No, it's okay. Like I'm not super sensitive to politics and stuff. I just don't think, and this is, dude, so many people have said this, it's a really tired argument. It just doesn't really belong in Star Wars. Star Wars is escapism to its fullest. If you could subtly put some stuff in and nobody's going to think twice about it, that's fine. But just in The Last Jedi with saving the horse donkey things or whatever they were. I mean, I'm glad they saved the CG horse donkeys, the rabbit horse donkeys, whatever they were. But it wasn't necessary for that story. I know we've gone over that in the Last Jedi review. I'm sorry, but that's why I'm like, these arguments we're having are not arguments, but debates and stuff and points. It's like, God, I'm just so sick of them. It's like, let's just let it be. Star Wars, the originals trilogy is still there. It's still great. I've lived through Last Jedi, and guess what? I still enjoy Empire Strikes Back. And some people enjoy Last Jedi, and that's cool. I'm actually out. So if you want to keep making stuff like that, fine. I mean, because like, I'm sure people are, especially if you've been with us for years, you're probably tired of hearing us repeat this shit over and over. So like, I promise you this, like, we're not going to cover the movies anymore. We're done. We're done. I mean, like, the TV shows, that's in our wheelhouse. I love Jon Favreau. I can't say no to that. I can't say we're not going to cover that. I'm actually really excited about that. Now, if Dan and Dave like do some like really cool Old Republic stuff, and they really start, if they turn it around, we'll cover it. But in the meantime, they're just, we don't cover the Transformers here. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where they're at right now. I'm sorry to say, but that's as a franchise, they're not the elite franchise anymore. They could be someday, but no, Marvel is the moneymaker. And that'll end someday too. I don't know when, but sorry.
We're just going to say here with Star Wars, we're done with Star Wars. Now let's never speak of it again. And on that note, I'm going to change my background.
There you go.
And we're going
to we got to catch up with the chat. So if the chat has something to say of it, we will definitely. I saw some Star Trek. Yeah. Star Trek. You're next. Got to talk about you next. Not today, but
yeah, as Viking Bitch says, yes, let's talk about something else and never talk about Star Wars again. So let's just move on, honestly. Let's just end that part of it. We're going to go on to something happy here.
Well, I mean, how many people talked about it? I don't want to like ignore people about it. So Can I honestly say Star Trek Discovery was good, Gary? Asked Bad Bunny. No, I cannot honestly say that. It was not good.
Polly Simeon says, I'd rather have no Star Wars for 3 years if they put that time into making a generally connected and deep universe. I haven't seen Solo, and I'm happy to wait for it on the Blu-ray.
There you go.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Pump the brakes.
Exactly. Movie Finobi says there have been several documentaries on Star Wars trilogy that are very good. I think they, and maybe Walter Cronkite, mentioned the Vietnam War and time period. Yes. Alex Utopia says Battlestar, The Expanse all have super strong female characters, but they don't feel the need to point it out. Diminish male characters or hit you in the face with it. There is a fine line there. Yes, that's exactly it. You don't need to. I had a friend over who hadn't seen Black Panther. We were watching Black Panther and we paused it at one point, and she says, she goes, this is the first movie I've actually seen where they have really strong female characters, but didn't call it out. Didn't have to call it out. They just wrote it that way. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's the way you do it.
Can we start calling them just female characters? I mean, I'm gonna. Strength is something that's assumed. Okay, I don't need to point that out because that's actually pointing out that there's weak female characters, and that is patronizing as fuck to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but to have it pointed out and having a box checked off, and again, Doomcock pointed out in his video. We have Dennis just said it right there. The shows we cover have great characters. Period. It's great writers, great characters, and they entertain the shit out of me. If I have to look anywhere past that for my show, I'm not enjoying it. Okay, the Star Trek Discovery tripped over itself trying to be more than it was, trying to over Star Trek fucking Star Trek instead of just being Star Trek. Mako says, I can only ask you to, with Star Trek Discovery, give it a chance. Every Star Trek show had a bad season 1. If season 2 sucks, we can go out and we can, shit on STD.
Go out and burn the village.
Burn the village. And yeah, that's what I said at the end of the season. I basically, they definitely could turn it around. They need to get rid of a couple writers and not crap on the past as much and kind of get rid of the Klingons. They have a lot to do. They have a lot to do to turn around. But I did see potential when Jonathan Frakes got behind the camera in that one episode. It felt like a Star Trek episode. And then that's what gave me the little tingles like, oh, I miss Star Trek. And when I say I miss Star Trek, the 8th episode into a Star Trek series, that's not good. It's not good.
Why this kind of worried me from the beginning with STD because, I've been a Trekker since birth, practically. I love the show. I love TOS. I just love it. And when I kept on reading that Jonathan Frakes was having a hard time getting them to pay attention to him as a director and wanting him to come on board, I was like, this is a problem, because if Jonathan fucking Frakes came to me as a showrunner and said, hey, Susan, I want to direct an episode of your show, regardless if it's Star Trek or whatever, because he's done other things too, I'd be like, Jonathan, sign here, go for it. But they held off, and I didn't understand why, because he's so integral to that universe. I didn't get it.
Now that and no, I didn't get it either, and I'm going to scare you all now because this one like flew way under the radar. I accidentally found this article yesterday, and honestly, I had forgotten about it until you just brought that up. Take a look at this. Patrick Stewart may be hinting at Star Trek Discovery role. What?
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, no, this is true. This is
What?
true. Now, I don't think it's a role. It might be a role behind the camera. Okay. I'm thinking he might direct an episode or something like that. But yeah, he definitely he went out there and hinted. Yeah, it's known for his iconic role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Patrick Stewart may have hinted. I mean, this could be total clickbait, but as his return to the franchise during an exchange about Star Trek Discovery, debuting last year on CBS All Access, the series is set about a decade before the events of Star Trek: The Original Series, depicting the Federation/Klingon War for like 5 minutes, with a side trip to the Mirror Universe. The first season ended with the titular Discovery responding to a distress call from the Enterprise, captained by Christopher Pike, who's played by Dennis's boyfriend, Anson Mount. Asked by the Red Carpet News whether he's seen Discovery, Patrick cryptically answered, "No, I haven't, because I like my eyes." No, he didn't say that. But I may have good cause to do it very soon. Stewart's sly smile may signal that he knows the audience. He knows something the audience doesn't, and speculation went awry. A return of Jean-Luc Picard is certainly a possibility, even with the Next Generation set long after the discovery of the original series. Discovery's first season showcased both time travel and the mirror universe, meaning virtually anything is possible. Of course, Stewart could easily cameo as a different character. I wanted to be in Legion. Okay.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is they're going to have him cameo as you watch the Star Trek STD universe explode for just a second. Like, boom, and it's going to be like this little blip where Data goes, "Hey, we had an anomaly off the port bow. Oh, that's okay. That was just a small little pocket universe exploding and disappearing." That's all it was.
They use their sonar in space to find Captain Picard on a life raft, an actual rubber life raft rowing in space. And the Klingons go out in space with their torches and get him and roll him back in and turn him into the Borg guy again. And then Akiva Goldsmith shows everybody the pictures he has of them, and they give him Emmys. That's my story. Who's Akiva Goldsmith? He wrote Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's still working.
Yeah, he is.
He and Rian Johnson need to go back to writing school. I'll just say that.
Polly Simeon says, "By the way, Dennis, I rewatched episode 7 of The Expanse, and Melba's bomb was definitely inside the wall cavity as she opened it. She stood it up and connected it."
So it was already there?
It was already there.
I planted it sooner.
Yeah. Someone else could have planted it
for her. That is definitely true.
Since we know that she is working with somebody else.
Yes.
She has to be working with somebody else. Yeah.
So she could be working with somebody else.
Yeah, she could.
I can't say shit.
Yeah, I mean, the way everything was already set up, I'm pretty sure she's working with somebody else.
I don't want to spoil The Expanse.
Yeah. Gary's the one who knows more about it than I do, so that's where I'm going to leave it at that.
We had somebody debating us in the comments that just popped up about Ashford wanting to get rid of Naomi, and he said no, Ashford actually wanted her there, and I can kind of see both sides of the argument, because Naomi would be great to have to the Belters. She would be an asset to the Belters.
Yeah,
but I'm sticking to my guns that Ashford wanted to get rid of Naomi because she would question everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's better to have people who are on your side than not. And Drummer actually should have never let her go. Now that I think about it, because, Drummer needs as many people on her side as she, because you never know what's going to happen, especially with these OPA guys, man.
Yep. So on to the news here. Speaking of Legion that we were talking about a little bit earlier, Noah Hawley has said that he has completed a script for Doctor Doom and the studio likes it, but he's going to start filming a little film called Pale Blue Dot in about 5 weeks. So there's no way he's going to end up filming. He even admitted himself that he needs to do another pass through it. He goes, even though the studio loved it, he needs to go through and do another pass through.
Right.
Which means we're not going to see it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the whole Fox Disney thing too, because he got into that.
Yeah.
Because, rights might get reverted if it goes through. And he said it's uncertain, but he's pretty optimistic about it. He feels that eventually they'll make it. But, there's so many balls in the air, so to speak.
Yeah, those are a lot of balls.
Yes. But you know what? That man can carry him. He's got quite a sack.
He can.
Quite a sack of balls. Geeks with Taste for the highbrow were don't apply that to Noah Hawley's just cool. He's not highbrow. And last year when Legion and Fargo, Artur Noah Hawley announced he had was working on a film starring the world's greatest supervillain. I agree with that. Dr. Doom for Fox. The hooded baddie has made a few screen appearances that sucked before the 4 attempts at a movie as arch foes the Fantastic Four, but this will be a solo outing of the Bad Doctor. You know what? The best version we've seen of Dr. Doom, I mean, aside from the Corman version, which is kind of the best version, live action, is the cartoon version from the Fantastic Four cartoon, which was quite good. And he also, I don't know if it was the same voice. He appeared in a Spider-Man one, but I want to get to the chat. It feels like I haven't talked to the chat in a long time.
Yeah, they How's Your Father says lots of balls. And Viking Bitch says we talk about balls a lot on this channel. And
we kind of do, Viking Bitch. I'm sorry.
We do talk a lot about balls.
Do we want to smack them with this?
Our favorites are jellyfish testicles, is what Mako says.
Oh, God.
Jellyfish testicles.
I don't like seafood.
Marcus Kahn says we need a sci-fi series for the Illustrated Man. I have been wanting this for years.
I'm impressed. A Rod Steiger mention. Holy hell. Good one, Marcus.
Yeah, I honestly, I know I read that a long time ago, and I can't remember it, honestly. It's been way too long. I know it was good. I just can't remember.
Alex Utopia, good night. Good night. I saw that they said bye, Alex.
So everyone was talking about who, with Fahey possibly moving into the head of Disney's seat there in what, like 5 years? Because that's when Iger is supposed to be moving out.
It's 2 years.
Is it 2? No, I thought he was
2021, 3 years. Is that 5 years?
3 years.
2021. 3 years.
3 years.
So real quick, Mark says Dr. Doom with no Fantastic Four. We don't know that for sure, Marks, but I believe so. Which that's really tough. I mean, as great as Noah Hawley's script would be, I'd rather wait and then bring him back if Feige was.
That's
smart.
what I was saying. Yeah, if Feige moves up, move Noah Hawley in as the head of Marvel.
Oh, I would put him. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if he could do that, but like creative director for sure.
Yeah, or just have him sit in on the meetings, and plan out where the Marvel universe is going to go, and have him direct a couple movies.
People, the MCU does miss Joss Whedon a bit. Joss Whedon was a creative force, and Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright doesn't get enough cred for what he did in the beginning of the Marvel universe, because he was part of the cabal that really got this thing going. It's too bad they couldn't work together, but
yeah. And Viking Bitch says, I just finished up Cloak and Dagger. It was better than I thought it would be. Yeah, me too. I thought it was, actually watchable. I mean, other than the really shitty music that was in it, I was impressed that they, that it was good.
I didn't hate the music. I mean, it's not anything I would like listen to regularly, but I didn't hate it.
It took me out. The music was just kind of took me out of it.
That music!
I'm old.
I'm old.
I don't like it.
I thought it was quite good. Viking Bitch. I thought 7 out of 10. I would give it. I thought they had a better beginning than Runaways and The Gifted. So yeah, I'm very surprised. I liked it, and it was very unfreeform. I mean, it had its moments, but it wasn't bad. I cannot believe that, because I kind of thought it would be bad. I would have to like kind of go, oh, it's okay, and or give up.
Kind of changed their MO a little bit, because it used to be like really YA-ish, and they wouldn't show anything controversial, or because what was it? It used to be, it wasn't Freeform, it was
ABC Family.
So it was very like Christian and stuff like that, and because that's what it was built on before it became ABC Family. It was like a Christian, and then it slowly morphed. Like, she's doing drugs, she's snorting up drugs and all this kind of stuff. Her mom's an alcoholic and also a pill popper, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's where we're going. All right.
Well, yeah, it's YA. That's hardcore YA now, and not my favorite thing, but I thought that it was really well done. I can't wait to see what happens next. I like how their powers manifest.
Yeah,
and it's set firmly in the MCU with the Roxxon Corp. It's like that's badass.
And yes, How's Your Father is better than Krypton.
Oh God, yes, way better than Krypton.
Yeah.
Also, Susan talked about the Saturn Awards, and those of you who sat through my live stream for Monday, I am going to be doing separate videos on like this because I'm so pissed about the Saturn Awards. I'm pretty pissed about the Expanse only getting one, but I'm really pissed about Legion getting none, like none.
Yeah, that's just
Shield
bullshit.
What and Legion gets none.
Yeah,
so that's ridiculous.
I watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season, and that shit does not deserve. I know there's fans of the show. I'm sorry, but that shit does not deserve awards at all. It needed to be canned, that last season.
Bribes, said Bad Bunny. Yeah, and I'm like what is contained in a Saturn Award bribe, Bad Bunny? like a DVD. Like they don't even get a Blu-ray; they get a DVD.
Box of donuts,
box of donuts or something. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery. Hey, payment due 900 Susan 69. Thanks, Movie Fanobi, for the $1.99.
Love you.
Make sure to forward that to her. I'm gonna take out my cut though. Legion not getting any awards was bullshit. That show is brilliant, says Viking Bitch.
How's Your Father says, and the award for best Star Trek series goes to
you win.
Forget who their competition is, but they may not win. Because it's interesting the way they have things categorized.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, we can hear it. Weird. Well, they have them categorized to where there's no reason they for one they split new media so they could separate the CW shows from the Netflix shows,
right?
But then they don't split up the acting categories. So we had Berthal get nominated in the TV category, but then FX. Then where does it fall into? Did they forget to put a cable superhero show? Because I don't know how Legion could have got. I don't know how you effing give it to Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Arrow, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Gotham and not think about Legion. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's utterly insane.
I don't know. Well, also, they didn't have any of the Netflix stuff in there either.
That's true.
So, yeah, maybe those are on the periphery. They don't exist because they're not part of the big four.
I know I'll be watching them because I have certain reasons to watch them. Like, I want to see how Twin Peaks does. Want to see that. Of course, Ash versus Evil Dead's the main reason why I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Is Bruce going to be there?
He was last year. It depends. Now, last year, I think it was, if it's toward the end of the month, he may be there. But June 22nd, he's off in Sacramento for Fandemic. So he may not be there, but he usually goes.
Oh, I think I just saw a date. June 27th.
He may very well be there then.
So I'm gonna. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna contact him, Dennis, and see if I can, I want to go down there, even if it's like on a stupid red carpet. I'd like it with a Legion sign or something like that. I don't know. I want to be one of those crazy fans, but yes, here we're there.
Well, give him my best if you see him.
June 27th. Of course I would. And yeah, it's like I went over on Monday. You can check out that, and I'll be doing a separate video. Okay, for both Expanse and Legion, because that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Saturn Awards used to mean something. Like I remember, like it was a big deal when you read them in Starlog. It's like the Saturn Awards came out. Yes, Aubrey Plaza is on fire, Mark.
Yeah,
you are.
She is
correct.
Freaking awesome. Agent Future says, do you think that Comcast will hijack the Disney Fox deal? Agent Future, we talked about this last week, and there is going to be a shareholders meeting call on that on July 10th is what Fox is doing. And the board is recommending that they go with the Disney deal, not the Comcast deal. So it doesn't look like that's going to be a big thing. It doesn't look like Comcast is going to.
Comcast, I think, got caught with that group that sold interest in them and bought interest in Fox. I think that got kind of outed. It's the ITT group or something like that. And like all of a sudden now the word on the street, ever since I heard that got outed, it's like, oh, this is a done deal. It's happening. Like nothing's going to stop it. Yeah. Max Power says every part of Legion deserves an award. Could not agree more.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just awesome. It's just a great show. And like I said, I know Viking Bitch with me on this one. It just speaks to me. I don't know what it is, but it just really does.
Yep. Dennis, I agree. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has turned into such a disappointment. I enjoyed some episodes, but the show overall, nah. Well, what could have been, says Jody. Yeah, true. That show could have been so much more.
Yeah. Philip A. Demick I was surprised to see Tandy doing car sex.
Yeah.
I had always imagined Tyrone and Tandy as two virgins that are stuck together by fate. No, because I mean we knew that they were street kids, and so we know that Tandy had done some stuff in order to get by on the streets.
Well, in the show. Yeah, Philip was probably thinking more of the comic a little bit, like I was, but no. I mean, Tyrone, he's a virgin for sure. I mean, just the fact when that girl was trying to lay it on thick with the emojis and everything to the party's like, what? I don't understand. Oh my God, I've seen that look in my son's face. It's like, dude, get some game, bro. Yes, I bro my sons. Okay, I dude them as well. I dude my wife. Call my wife dude. Okay.
I have to bring this up because you guys love this family so much. The Saturn Awards is giving out, their usual, like Guillermo del Toro is getting the Dr. Donald A. Reed Founders Award. Jason Blum is getting the Producer Showcase Award. The Filmmakers Showcase Award is going to Jake Kasdan.
For his with the specialty in social media skills.
Yeah, that tells you everything right there. Someone just paid a little bit of money. It must have been like that $10 bribe is what they did. They're like, here you go. I want the award. Okay, it's $15.
Can we rename it the Memorial Lando Calrissian Pansexual Award now?
Oh my God!
The award has it has to have a little hole in it though. The award.
The L3 award, the
Elite award,
the Elite award.
Yes.
Darth Barbecue says, I may be the oddball here, but Legion was a hard show for me to get through. You get out of here now. No,
yes. No. Actually, Legion is the one that I mean, as much as I love it and it does speak to me as well, I understand that does not have the mass appeal.
Yeah.
That a lot of shows need to have. So that's why I'm grateful whatever we get, because I don't think we're on a super long ride with Legion. Okay, I think we'll get maybe 4 seasons, but I think next season will probably be its last. I hate that, but I'd be okay with 3 seasons. I would. It's magnificent, but that's why it is so cool. It's not, and I don't want to come off like, oh, I'm smarter than you. It's more highbrow and fucking Rick and Morty bullshit. No. It's an artsy. It's visual first.
It's a shooting star is what I look at it as. It's going to burn hot, bright, and it's going to be very, very brief.
Yep. It is visuals before story. And that's exactly how I like my comic. I like art before writer. So
I like when the two converge, but this
we all do. But if it's a preference thing,
Yeah.
I like a little more peanut butter than I like jelly. Okay. I like them when they're both evenly put on. But I mean, if I have a preference, I like a little more peanut butter.
You got your chocolate on my peanut butter.
Yes.
You got your peanut butter on my chocolate. Artemis over. Artemis over easy. For you kids at home, that's an old commercial. Now, commercial is one of those things that was on this thing called a TV.
It's the things you skip past on our YouTube videos.
Exactly. Yeah. There we go. Now we got it.
Yeah.
Artemis over easy at Darth Barbecue. I don't think it's easy for anyone to get through. More just an appreciation for amazing acting, writing, sound design, lighting, and fucked up scenery.
Yep. Artemis over easy. How the hell does Aubrey Plaza not get at least a sniff of an acting award? Come on, Artemis. She will. She's gonna. I think after this series, she's a great talent waiting. She'll get an award someday. She's you don't see a ton of female method actors out there, and she is straight up a method actor. And they usually win stuff when they're really good, and she is really fucking good and a little crazy, and I like that.
Yeah, a lot of crazy actually. Jody asks Gary, Dennis, and Susan, what do you think is the optimum number of seasons for TV shows? I'm thinking 5 seasons is the optimal amount of seasons. After that, shows tend to go bad. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and we've talked about this before. Anywhere from 3 to 5, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, so I think 5. I think 5 is an optimal number. Peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. I said I wouldn't sing again. No jelly for my peanut butter.
I tend to think that 3 is a good number, but keeping an option for 5.
Do you think 3 is the magic number?
Yeah, because sometimes when
one
you
is
get
the loneliest.
when you get to a 5th season, it's it's tired already. You're jumping sharks. You're doing things like characters stuck in a room together. Whenever you see that episode where it's a bunch of characters in a room, the writers were stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a success when the creative team that came up with the show ends with that show. I think
Yes.
the shows have survived creative team differences, but I like it when you hear one voice go all the way through. And that's the thing with Walking Dead. With the first 5 seasons are very enjoyable. People crap on season 2. It really is not as bad as what I've heard that we've gotten lately, but it was kind of an inconsistent show because they've had so many different writers, and I really would have loved. I know the guy was a total pain in the ass. I would have loved to see Frank Darabont finish anything, but he's not going to. But I think that's part of the success. I mean, that's why we the 3 shows that we love right now, the ones that are on right now, which everybody should be watching, are Westworld, Legion, and The Expanse. They all have great creative visionaries at the head of the project. And are seeing it through. There's more than one. With The Expanse, it's a good group of writers, and with Westworld, it's Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan. Did Ed Brubaker write any episodes this season? I know he wrote one in the first season. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brubaker's a great comic book writer, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward. Speaking of Marvel, again, we're going back. Luke Cage season 2 is coming out here fairly soon. As a matter of fact, right? When's that going to be?
It's June,
I got it right here. June 22nd.
June 22nd. Yeah, it's in a couple weeks, and I've seen little to zero promo.
Actually, we did have a promo. We've had a couple of promos.
I know, but I know we have, but I have not seen much. I have not. It's not I don't see it on billboards anywhere. I Daredevil. No. I don't see any kind of promo. We've gotten a couple trailers, but nothing super long.
No,
I'm wondering what's up with that.
That is a good question. Maybe they're waiting for Comic-Con and they're going to promote it at Comic-Con, which I could see that happening.
Why would you promote it after it comes out?
Because you already have your audience there.
No,
I don't know. It's
but we're what is it? What's the date today? It's the 8th. So we are 14 days. We are 2 weeks away from Luke Cage. And now I don't watch a bunch of commercial TV, guys, so I could be wrong about this. Doesn't it feel like they haven't really pumped this up a lot?
No, they haven't at all. I mean, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want to see it. I mean, we're going to cover it. So our schedule for that, by the way, if anybody's wondering, We will, of course, it will be on nerdrotic.com. But we are going to do, it depends on how good it is. Okay. So say if it's really good, we do on Friday night, we do a spoiler-free first episode review. And then on Saturday night, we do part 1. And then on Monday, we do part 2 spoiler reviews. If it's just meh, we're going to do we'll do the spoiler-free review on Friday night. And then on Monday, we'll do just a hour-long review of the series. So that's, keep an eye at nerdrotic.com for that.
Exactly. Movie Finobi says, Dennis, you ain't no joke.
You ain't no joke, man.
Okay. Thank you.
It's probably in reference to something you said earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I'm sorry. I checked out at that point, I think. Philip A. Demick says, if you like Westworld, check out Humans by BBC. It's another robot rebellion theme. It's different. I watched the first season. It didn't grab me. I know you're watching it, Gary. What do you think of it so far?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it's nowhere near the level of Westworld, but I'm not hating it. I see it as kind of like, and don't get mad, I mean, this isn't a dig at all, but it's like the 100. I think it's entertaining, you know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to burn through it enough to start covering it, but if I catch up, we might cover it like halfway through. But I thought it was okay. Yeah. I'm still like, by the way, where's Penn Farm Girl? She mad at us, Viking bitch? Where is she? She's usually here. She must have to do something.
Yeah.
She's probably working.
Okay, there we go. Movie Finobi says, at Dennis, Luke Cage promos had I Ain't No Joke by Eric B. and Rakim. There we go. It's a song. Okay.
Thanks, Movie
That's
Finobi.
right. Thank you. I
went right over our heads on that one. Sorry,
dude,
buddy.
Did. Yeah.
That was a good joke, too. That was well played, Movie.
I'm sorry you had to explain it.
Sorry we fucked it up for you.
Yeah. It happens quite a bit with us.
So 12 Monkeys on the 15th. Yes, Bad Bunny. Yes. 12 Monkeys.
Movie Finobi says Netflix never invests in too much marketing, but also this spring and summer blockbuster movie season is screwing up promotions. So many trailers this week. Yeah, dude, there were so many trailers. I mean, we also had, excuse me, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
That opens up on December 18th. We had the trailer come out this week. It got 44 million views.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
44 million views.
And I know everybody's talking about Miles Morales, but you know what they got right? Peter fucking Parker.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've seen, because guys, ladies and gentlemen, what you've been getting in the movies is essentially like origin Spider-Man or Spider-Boy, but nobody has seen live action Spider-Man, like established
older Peter Parker.
The one who's been, by the way, the younger kid Peter Parker wasn't even in 4% of the comic books. Okay. He's always been mid-20s to early 30s Spider-Man. We have not seen that. So to see that, I know some people bitched about the animation, and that's fine. Animation's a total taste thing. I thought it was awesome. I could not believe that when I saw when Peter was talking to him and they're talking about the burger and everything. I'm like, holy Christ. That's my Peter right there. That's fucking awesome. So yeah. And you know, I like Miles Morales. I think it's a good character. I thought I love Ultimate Spider-Man. I love the whole story arc, and it's got an ending and everything. And I do. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Who knows? That might end up being the best Spider-Man movie.
I like the fact that he's mentoring somebody.
Yeah.
That Spidey's mentoring someone, and he's just an average guy. Like he's saying to Miles, he's like, I'm not liquid at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just a complete slob, and I think that's what's working. It's almost giving him like an Obi-Wan Luke type relationship.
Well,
I think I've been saying this since they created him, and there was when back in the days when Marvel's like, we're never going to put the Ultimate Universe inside the Marvel Universe, which the minute they said never, we knew they were going to do it eventually. Exactly. And my whole thing was I wanted Miles to be Robin to Spider-Man. Like, give Spider-Man a sidekick. You want to give him a whole brand new story arc, make him a mentor, like you just said. and not have Spider-Man die. I mean, like, no, have them actually work together. And it doesn't have to be a Batman, Robin, adult ward kind of thing. They could be actual partners who work together and fight and all that kind of shit. And it would have been great. They've done a couple things like that. They've thrown way too many spider people in the Marvel universe right now. And it's kind of diluted, but I thought that would have been really fun. So to see it in this was awesome.
Well, this is supposed to be a multiverse. They're introducing the multiverse. So so we're seeing a Peter Parker from a different universe inhabiting the Ultimate
seeing 616. That's Peter from the 616, and we're seeing the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. They released a bit more promo stuff on that, which I'm not going to spoil if you guys.
Well, I think they're kind of taking a little bit from Shattered Dimensions, which is a fucking awesome video game.
They're not doing that either. They're actually just going to do the.
What I just said was taking a little bit from it, not copying the plot, but I think they're gonna like we might see a Spider-Man noir, we're gonna see different Spider-Mans. So
he's definitely introducing Miles to the multiverse and the different spider people out there.
Yes.
So definitely.
And the whole thing with Shattered Dimensions is there was a bunch of different Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was the only correlation I was getting at.
Okay.
Yeah. Not so literal, Dennis.
So we had another trailer that was out there.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry, I can't say Nihilist Shadow, Bruce Wayne / Terry McGinnis. Yeah, something like that. Except a little younger, but goddamn, Batman Beyond's good.
Yeah, it is. It really needs something to come out, man. It really does. A live action
Viking bitch Spider-Man Noir was actually cool, and it was best represented in that video game. Not a big video game guy, excuse me, but Shattered Dimensions was a badass video game. I do get it mixed up with the other one where they had a bunch of different Spider-Man too, so I might be doing that too. But I saw the best version of Spider-Man 2099, and good shit.
Artemis over easy. We have not covered Legion finale predictions, so you're not late, and you have not missed it. No, you have not. We're still talking about movies, and we had another trailer that came out, that one that we weren't really expecting, but it's Bumblebee.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to say on this one other than what everybody else said. It's Iron Giant. I do like the look. I like they've toned it down and made them look like the Transformers from the 80s. But again, that's just something we don't talk about here. I could care less.
Yeah, it's supposed to be set in the 80s, so that's the reason why it looks like the 80s.
And I mean, Bumblebee, I was expecting something else, and I definitely got Iron Giant, but I also got, and for whatever reason, Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah, I got a bit of that as well. Yeah,
I was just like, oh my god, why am I tearing up at this trailer about a Transformer? I mean, I expected Bumblebee to be a little more badass, and then I got touchy-feely. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. It threw me for a loop.
Yeah, no, I found it fun. I mean, I'll probably see it with the movie pass.
Yeah, I'll see it when it comes out on cable or something like that. I mean, it looks, believe me, it looks better than any other Transformer movie. It does. But I like the cartoon. I got stoned to it a lot in high school, and I could see if you were like a total Transformers fan, how you'd be re-energized with this one though, because of the older look, and them toning it down. I know it takes place in the 80s, but that was also, they're not the Bayformers anymore. This is their new direction, and they're going to start doing it. This is basically a soft reboot, and then if it works, then you're going to start seeing Optimus Prime is going to be in this movie. And you're going to see him straight up look like the Optimus Prime from the cartoon. And if this works, great, cool. I did like the difference of it and everything, but it just, I've seen it. I've seen Iron Giant. I have.
So speaking of things that have come around again, I guess you could say, DC Comics is going to be relaunching the Vertigo brand with 7 new titles. I knew Gary would love this one.
Yeah, I want to stay away from this one. It's the 25th anniversary, and they're launching it with a bunch of socio-political titles, and they're all going to sell 10,000 books, and they're not even worth talking about. If one of them cracks 15,000 for total sales in the U.S., I would be shocked.
So you say you're going to go out and put these in your pull list right away, right?
No.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I like good stories and art. I don't think we're going to get some of the artists are pretty good, but one of the writers is not even really a comic writer. So, I mean, that's okay too, but no thanks.
So speaking of good stories, since you just led me into that one, Danny Boyle's going to be directing it. And we got a rumor that the new villain for Bond number 25 doesn't have a title as of yet, but we have a rumor that Helena Bonham Carter might be the villain for Bond 25.
Oh my God, women can be villains too?
Oh my God.
No. That is so cutting edge, thinking out of the box. Okay, cool. I like I love the shit out of Bond movies. So it's cool. I like Helen Bonham. She played a good villain in Harry Potter too, you know.
Well, she's also got a competitor because Angelina Jolie's name's getting mentioned too.
Ooh, why don't they just have them both be villains?
Yeah,
and that's how Bond dies. Having a three-way with Helen Bonham Carter and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you want to go out.
And yes, Jody, Bond 25 still has Daniel Craig. It's Daniel Craig's last turn as Bond.
Yep.
Or so he says.
Yeah. I think actually this is his last contractual obligation that's done after that. So yeah, and he's always, whenever he gets done with it, because it's so draining on him, he's like, nope, done. So I think he's actually done.
I'm actually a ginormous fan of Helena Bonham Carter. I love her. I love her a lot. I'm not enough to see all of her movies, but her Bellatrix Lestrange was awesome. She was fucking great. She was great in Fight Club. She was fucking awesome in Fight Club. So.
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. She was great as Queen. Yeah, she's brilliant in every way.
Well, people forget how she started too. I mean, she started as your traditional British actress in Merchant Ivory with Wings of the Dove, and you see her now and you forget that she had that more traditional British thespian past.
Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm.
And she also wasn't she married to two directors, or she was Tim Burton and Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh. She dated Branagh.
Dennis, yes, primary villain is in Bond is non-existent, and Jolie in competition. I think there are so many other fine British actresses I would prefer, says Movie Finobi. Idris Elba will be the new Bond, says Carlos Negron. Yeah, that is a debate for another day. I love Idris Elba, but have him play Felix or something. I want to see a Felix Leiter movie with Jeffrey Wright. That's what I want to see.
Shit, yeah, I want to see that. And I hope Felix is in this one too. I mean, because
they need to have him more. Jeffrey Wright does he piss people off or something? Like, he needs to be in more shit. He's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know some people are hard to work with.
Yacht.
Yeah.
When I first saw him, he just lit up the screen. He's Broadway trained. He is an excellent character actor.
He's been on. He's one of those who's just been doing well on Broadway and doesn't need movies.
Yeah,
okay, I get it. No, there's a lot of those guys. Like, they'll come out. Like, remember when Nathan Lane showed up? Okay, and I know that's not the greatest example in the world. I'm like, where's this guy been? It's not like he's young. Did he just start acting? And it's like, oh, he's been on Broadway for 30 years or something. Like, okay, that makes sense. Gary, I don't know who would be more awesome main villain, Helen Bonham Carter or Cate Blanchett. Oh, I don't know. I like them both.
Cate Blanchett might be a little less charactery. She might be more of a real life type villain. That's just my, Helena would bring something extra special, like the over the top villains of Bond, but Cate would be a little more down to earth. And hell, while we're at it, why don't we just make it a triumvirate with Blanchett, Jolie, and Bonham Carter?
How about Emily Bloom?
Oh, dude, that would be so rad to just like give him like 3 superpower like women villains that he's got to take on. That'd to be oh my god, and he's got to sleep with them all. I know that would piss a lot of feminists off, but this is James Bond we're talking about here. Okay,
he'll be killed by sex.
Killed by sex.
No, he'll be killed by a genetically engineered super STD. That he gets from that he has to sleep with all 3 of them in order to get the full effect.
Get the cure.
God.
Viking Bitch says, I loved Fight Club. The book was great too. Viking Bitch, I go back and forth. I mean, the source material is always kind of better, but that movie flip flops with Raiders of the Lost Ark is my all-time favorite movie. I love Fight Club. Even that weird ending, I love the shit out of that movie.
Oh, Emily Bloom, I think, would actually be a great Bond villain as well.
Who?
Emily Bloom. She was in A Quiet Place. She was also in Live, Die, Repeat, the Tom Cruise movie, where she was.
Her name is not Bloom. Is it Bloom?
Is it Bloom?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt.
I was like, who the hell are you talking about?
Blunt.
Yeah, she'd be all right. She'd be all right. It would have been interesting to see her as Black Widow, like she was supposed to be.
Yeah, that would have been awesome too.
The next Bond could be Henry Cavill. Thoughts? Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
They just have to CGI his mustache out again.
Let him keep his. I want him to have a Ron Jeremy mustache as Bond. I think that'd be kind of.
That would be awesome.
Dope. I loved Parker Posey in Lost in Space as Mako. So did we. Classically trained actress says Bad Bunny.
Luke Lucas says Christoph Waltz needs to come back as Blofeld. They left that open. Maybe one of the new bands is related to him. He actually said he's not coming back as Blofeld, which I find ridiculously a bad idea because he was awesome as Blofeld.
Why would you bring in a Blofeld and never bring him back? Yeah, so they're going to have to recast Blofeld, which sucks because I love Christoph Waltz.
Well, can we put Stellan Skarsgård in there as Blofeld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the Skarsgårds, you can toss any of them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized another Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgård clan showed up in Deadpool 2, of all places. He was like a minor character. He was Zeitgeist, the guy who spits vomit, who vomits acid.
Whoa.
That was a Skarsgård. Yeah.
That was the guy who was in It.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill. Okay, Bill Skarsgård. Okay.
Yeah.
Dennis, what if the main baddies were male functioning fembots?
Awesome.
Jody.
Darth Barbecue says Clive Owen would be good. Roger Moore wasn't a spring chicken when he was Bond. Clive Owen hasn't aged all that well. If you take a look at him recently, he looks really old now, which is kind of weird. I don't know what happened to him.
I don't think he looked that old. I saw him in that movie I couldn't get through on Netflix. He looked okay. I really couldn't get through that movie. I tried, man. I tried like 4 times. The one where they could see stuff through the eyes and they can erase data from your mind and stuff.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
It ended up erasing too much data from my mind from boredom in the beginning, and maybe it gets better. It didn't grab me. I don't know why. It looked really pretty too, and I liked everybody in it. Wow. I think he would be actually a good Bond. I'm down with that, and I don't mind Bond being well. For one, I'm probably older than Clive Owen. I always think he's older than me, but I bet you I'm older than him.
Yeah.
Well, look at Sean Connery. He wasn't a spring chicken doing Bond.
No, he was not. Even in Never Say Never Again, which I am the only person on the earth who likes. Okay.
Wow, you are.
Yes. Shit, he is older than me. He's 5 years older than me.
Wow, he's that old?
Wow.
That's fucking that old.
You can feel the love there, I know.
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I know. I like it. I'm glad. It's fucking a miracle I made it this far. To be honest with you.
Jody says, Dennis, I think 10 years ago, Clive Owen would have been great. Not so sure now. Yeah. 10 years ago would have been awesome. The Clive Owen then. Actually, if Gerard Butler could lose a few pounds, he might actually, because they're kind of interchangeable. Gerard Butler and Clive Owen. I always confuse them as who they are.
Really? They are totally not alike in any way, shape, or
They
form.
are. They're same build. They kind of have the same acting style. And
no, they have completely different accents. They're from different parts of. Yeah,
I'm not on the accents. I'm talking the acting style.
Okay, I'm going to put up a picture of both of them. You tell me how they look alike. Okay, let's put this to the test, man, because I think you're high. Okay, so let's get a picture. Okay, this is Clive Owen. All right, that's Clive Owen. Present that. Look at it. It looks fucking damn handsome. Look at that dude. That's a Bond right there.
That's an old picture, man. Go to the one that's up on the.
Dude, you should here. Let's do this one right here. I will take this old one right there. Right there. That old one right there. Still sexy motherfucker right there. Look at that. Then we're gonna get Gerard Butler. Okay. Who you say just they're interchangeable.
I'm talking about acting wise, man. They have the same build. They have the same acting style.
Okay.
Although Gerard Butler slurs his words a little bit more.
They don't look anything alike. Take his beard off. No. Actually, like at least Clive Owen, I want to say Clive Barker for some reason. Clive Owen has a chin. Like Gerard needs to have that beard. He's got a good beard face. He's a handsome man too. But no, they don't.
I mean, they have the same coloring, but I don't. They might be similar. I think I'm starting to see what Dennis is seeing in the both of them.
I think you're
the roles that they've played.
Clive Owen has not played a surfer. Okay. Have you seen Clive Owen in any dumb romantic comedies? No.
Well, no.
Okay.
Sin City.
No.
Sin City. Yeah, that's the only one. They were, Sin City. Yeah, that was it.
Butler does look like Russell Crowe a little bit. Doug 34. I'll agree.
That I'll say yes. I'll agree with that one.
Nihilist Shadow says Gerard Butler as Hawkman.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Get back his 300 abs.
Yeah.
You mean definitely. The spray paint?
How's your father, Gary's wife? Why is my husband Googling Clive Owen and Gerard Butler?
Because it's Friday.
I erase my history, sir. GB is drunk. Not for a long time, Carlos. Long time.
Go with me on this one because this is going to take a lot of imagination. And I know he's older, but when he was probably a little bit younger, Colin Firth is like the Roger Moore of today.
Colin Firth?
Yes, think about it.
Kind of,
yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. I can see how that works.
How old is he now?
Colin Firth?
Like 55, 56.
Yeah. I think the 50s are fine for Bond. Are you guys okay with the Bond in his 50s, right? Well, how old is Daniel Craig? Daniel Craig's got to be in his late 40s. Yeah, there you go.
He's 50.
Yeah. Mako says Clive Owen, Gerard Butler side by side looking at the camera. Google search by Gary.
I know, right? That you guys come here for me to Google search shit. I could just hit that. Let me Google that site for you. You guys are doing that, right?
Let me Google this for you.
Oh, now wait. How's your father brought this guy up? And I used to hate him when he was a young punk, Colin Farrell. But now I see Colin Farrell because I just saw him in Widows in the trailer. And he's older. His hair's graying. Colin Farrell might not be a bad choice. Good one. How's your father?
Yeah. Firth was great in Kingsman. Hell yeah. Exquisitely British, says Paulie Simeon. Damn straight. God, Kingsman is such a good movie. That is almost a perfect movie. That is one of those ones like that. That and Deadpool are just like they hit every beat perfect.
They are great.
Cillian Murphy, I don't think would be a great fit. Carlos Negron.
He's not. You know what? Okay, this is gonna sound bad. He didn't look manly enough.
He strikes me more as a Q.
He's pretty. Yeah. I'd hate to hurt his face or something like that. It's too pretty.
Yeah. Nihilist Shadow says Colin Farrell as John Constantine.
Oh.
I can see that working.
Do it.
But we already have a John Constantine.
It's Matt Ryan.
That's right. It's Matt Ryan.
I'm blurry.
Tom Hardy is Bond Mako. That is interesting. He would be, well, he's younger, so he'd be more of a physically active Bond.
Yeah.
That might work.
I could actually see Tom Hardy as James Bond. That would work.
And Tom Hardy can be anything. He can. Tom Hardy can be James Bond and his wife or whatever. He can. Yeah, Tom Hardy as everybody and everything. I am totally fine with that. With Nolan directing, fuck yeah, Mako. Which
Max
one?
Power, James fucking Franco. Please, God, no.
Franco as an American Bond? No.
No.
I could see James Franco though as a Felix Leiter. If it wasn't already taken, if the role wasn't already taken by someone far superior to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Tom Hardy should be in everything though.
Yeah. And right, Polly Simeon, Tom Hardy's taboo is delectable. His words, not mine.
Yes.
His or her words.
Their words. Yeah.
Their words.
Sorry to assign gender. We
yeah.
You know.
By the way, Max Power, I love the name because it reminds me of that Homer Simpson episode where he changed his name to Max Power, which just
probably
makes me
why
laugh.
he named it. Yeah. When does Viking Bitch get the guest voice call in? Yes, it's a good idea. You're welcome, says Movie Finobi. She has to pass the test. It's vigorous.
Why not Zoidberg?
That's something where she's all what? That is something we will discuss on the Discord.
Oh, cool. That is Max Powers' word, Dennis. That's where it's from. Cool. Awesome. That's actually one of my favorite episodes too. Just makes me laugh.
Gender neutral chat zone, says Artemis over Easy.
Yes, it is. So on to some more news here. We have Jordan Peele has signed a first look TV deal with Amazon, which is actually pretty big when you think about it.
I wrote about it this week, and
oh wow,
his first effort with them is called The Hunt through Sonar Entertainment, where he's had a first look with them since 2017. The Hunt is about 1977 Nazi hunters in New York that find out that a bunch of the Third Reich head honchos are still around. So they get together to thwart their plans to create a Fourth Reich. It sounds really good.
That does sound really good.
I am so sick of hearing about the Fourth Reich. When are we ever going to get a depiction of the Fifth Reich?
I think we did.
It's the Fourth
Iron
Reich.
Sky.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I think they actually did. I think they did call themselves the Fifth Reich in Iron Sky, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, this just in, Viking Bitch. Balls. Just want to say that.
Wow. Okay. So there's nothing but balls in the chat.
She asked if we were are we done talking about balls now? You had brought this in, so I just started typing balls. I was really done.
Polly Simeon, I don't think the Iron Sky sequel ever came out. I think they were crowdfunding it or doing something like that, and they never got the money that they needed. So it never happened.
Dude, Indiegogo, come on.
Morks, okay, Iron Sky was the Fourth Reich. I'm sorry. I thought they had gone up to the Fifth Reich on already.
And what's interesting too is his second deal through Amazon is a Lorena Bobbitt documentary. Does anybody even remember Lorena Bobbitt?
Yeah.
She cut off John Wayne Bobbitt's balls.
Speaking of balls.
Well, it's dick, actually.
That was,
yeah. Oh, dick, yeah.
That's okay.
Sorry, I had to get balls in there again. That's all it was.
Yeah, we just had to get that in there. Fig leaf and calendar talk. This is digressing quickly.
It's really digressing.
Wow.
So another deal that was signed, Greg Berlanti. Yes, he of the Arrowverse and 14 shows in production.
Can I counter this deal to make sure it doesn't happen? Can I match him? I will sell everything I own to make him stop.
It's already a done deal. He has signed a $300+ million deal to stay at Warner Brothers TV through 2024 because obviously they were afraid that somebody was going to steal him away.
Okay, and he's not even the head writer. Okay, so the head writer, the guy who like spearheaded all this Arrowverse stuff, is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he got caught up in the Me Too stuff. He's gone.
Yep.
So Berlanti was just basically a producer. Okay, that's all he is. And the only thing Berlanti was good for was letting us know like who was going to be in a show. I mean, like I watched this guy's act for the Superman or Supergirl. Sorry, Supergirl. They showed the Supergirl pilot at Comic-Con. And I've never seen Hall H that quiet in my life when it ended. They ended up re-editing it and actually making it a little better. But Dennis was there. We watched it. It was
bad.
Freaking bad.
It was really bad. That first season was rough. I admit it. That first season was really rough. The second season I liked a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
you don't like it.
Show. No, it's not good. It's not a matter of me liking it. That's just it's not good.
This guy, 14 freaking shows.
Yeah, 14 shows in production.
Okay, I remember David Kelly back in the 90s. He had a lot going on. Stephen Bochco, all those guys had multiple shows, but 14? That's crazy.
This is a new record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that shows you how much creative involvement he actually has.
Yeah. He's just producing. That's all he's doing.
Ugh.
He really has. I mean, and honestly, most of these are going to be going on the DC streaming service.
Listen,
DC Universe. Yeah, DC Universe.
At this point, they're doing harm to the superhero genre.
Yeah.
They are. This is harming them. This because everybody's going to remember this shit, and it's going to be like 66 Batman, which I love, but that's not like serious superhero story. It's turned into quippy, like sex, freaking dating, superheroes who call themselves by their first names and don't wear costumes. So what are they exactly?
They talk about their feelings in the hallways.
And they talk about their feelings in hallways. Yeah.
Always.
Which is pretty much going to be the theme of our calendar, by the way.
But you know what they're ruining is they're ruining DC superheroes.
Yes.
Because they're already doing that in the movies as it is. So they figured they're going to do it on their streaming service as well. Since everything's going to be moving over to that streaming service anyway, it's a good place to kind of contain. It's kind of like a porta potty. As long as you don't tip it over, it should contain all the shit.
See, I don't want it to that's a dark way of looking at it. I was looking forward to the streaming service. I mean, like I want to, I want Swamp Thing to be good. I want to see a good Doom Patrol. I'm fucking excited about this shit.
I want to see good stuff too.
Get rid of him. I mean, if that's the quality they're going to do, the problem is that's the mass appeal thing. And I don't think these shows are going over to the DC streaming service other than to be reruns. I don't think they're going to be producing these shows there. Maybe one or two for a year, but
I'm excited for Verheiden's take on Swamp Thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, if it can survive Berlanti's production, sure. I just don't know.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is enough money going to be put into these productions? We already saw what Titans looks like. Need I remind you of the costumes?
Yeah.
I mean, Robin looks really good, but Starfire or Starhooker, Starfire. Wow, that was bad. And Beast Boy and Raven. It was like, wow. And
that was depressing to see. But the Swamp Thing in particular, with Verheiden being involved, if they go rated R with it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. It's are they going to go for a more Bernie Wrightson scary Swamp Thing, or are they going to go for an Alan Moore philosophical Swamp Thing, or a little of both?
Well, see, that's we don't know because Verheiden can go both ways.
Yeah.
You see what he did in My Name is Bruce, and then Ash. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's Let's
Sorry,
do a couple more.
Bad Bunny said balls.
Okay. Joss Whedon is going to executive produce Pippa Smith, Grown Up Detective for Freeform.
Yeah, so Pippa Smith, Grown Up Detective, is supposed to be, think of Nancy Drew.
But all grown up.
But grown up, she's now in her 20s and 30s. She's an addict. She's dealing with adult life. And it's supposed to be a half-hour comedy, by the way, too. And she's supposed to be dealing with adult life, all while figuring out that maybe the detective game isn't for her anymore. That's what this whole thing is supposed to be about. I'm actually not looking at your face at the moment, and I can see that jaw dropping.
I'm just more of like, is this where we've gone, Joss? Like, this is it? Okay. I mean, I'll probably watch it because it's Joss, but like, that's okay. He's just producing it, though. It's not like he's actively involved. He might be just like lending his name to it or something.
He said he wanted to be involved in something that kind of like Buffy again, with a strong female character. That's
I'm sure
what he said. Yeah. I'm not too hopeful for that one either.
Whatever.
There was actually something else that was attached to that same article that was a TV show about what if 300 years ago the Salem witch trials turned out differently, and it actually turned into witches gained their independence and became part of what they did was they said, okay, we're going to work for the United States and we will help you. And now they go to today where witches are part of the law enforcement community, I guess is what it is. And they're following a witch who's just gone through the academy and using her powers to help, solve these crimes and whatnot.
Bright.
Kind of like Bright with witches.
Bright?
Yeah.
Kind of like Bright, except like Bright.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks. Yeah, I love cross-genre stuff, except when they mix it into procedural police dramas, which is all it'll be. It'll be iZombie, except she can make things disappear instead of eating brains or something like that. Okay.
Hey, it'll be like Lucifer, only, it's with the devil.
Except with the devil.
Wow.
All right, we should get close to wrapping this thing up. Why don't you go to the chat a little bit here?
Okay, we'll go to the chat. Witches solving crime is what Douglas said. Yes, it is witches solving crime. Alternate historical fantasy is what Nero Hannibal the Tyrant said. Yes, it actually has that as well.
Sleepy Hollow.
Artemis Overease, he says, wasn't that Lucifer? Yes, it was.
It was. Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
Oh man, yes, it has all those things and more.
And the same. All those things and the same as every other thing.
How's your father says maybe Joss wanted to get involved with Eliza Dushku again.
Sure he does.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. I was going to say it, but I'm glad someone else did. Nihilist Shadow says Discovery is $8 million per episode.
What?
Where the heck does the money go? It doesn't look that good at all.
No, that's shocking. It was 8 million an episode.
Wow.
Is that true, Susan?
$8 million. Whoa.
That's fucking insane.
You know what it was? It was they had to use that much money in order to get most of the stink off of it, but it just won't come off. So
that's crazy.
Railmocker
Luke Lucas said the Halloween trailer looked pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to post it up there. I was going to, and I completely spaced on that one. And I haven't had internet access all day today, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
I know. It's been a day. Oh my god. Railmocker says the problem with origin superhero shows is that the heroes and future villains are shown way too quickly, but not calling it by its real title yet. Smallville is greater than Superman. Gotham is greater than Batman.
Yeah, when you do the peripheral shows, what now we have entire generations who know everything about Batman except for Batman. Like they know all the side characters and everything, but they don't know Batman. So like generations now. And the reason they held it back is, Well, we want to hold it back for the movies. We're trying to protect our brand. So in overprotecting your brand, you don't get it out there anywhere. So you play it so safe. So we do these peripheral shows instead of just doing a goddamn Batman show, which is what they should be doing. Now more people know Jim Gordon than fucking Batman because of Gotham. It's insane. It's like we live in Bizarro world. We do. There's a couple patrons I forgot to mention here. Let me mention real
quick before you guys do that.
Hang on. Let me. I just showed the patrons. So it's Chad Walsh and Marcel. Thank you for being wonderful, loyal patrons. You just saw our patrons going across the screen there. Patreon.com/Nerdrotic. Go, Susan.
Okay. Yes, STD is between 8 to 8.5 mil.
Jesus.
That's unbelievable.
Jesus, Anaheim.
Jesus of Anaheim. Holy shit. That is shocked. I am shocked.
SF Dread says, "Where's the spectacles, Dennis? You look rad with them on." Thank you. They are right here in my pocket, as a matter of fact. I just haven't had a chance. I usually need them when I need to read. So when I'm reading stuff on my paper here, but I don't have any paper in front of me, I actually have it on my screen right now. So I'm looking at the camera instead of looking down. And everyone appreciates that a lot more.
Will the Farscape review be 4 episodes? I need to watch them. Mako, I don't know yet. I haven't quite decided. I'd like to do them in 4-episode chunks, but that would be very difficult to title. And if you can't title it right, nobody's going to watch. So I got to temper it with how we do this. So I will get back to you. But I better decide pretty goddamn soon because it's Monday. So I'll let you guys know. I'm probably inching towards maybe just continue doing it individually. I know that sounds insane, but titling is everything on YouTube. Absolutely everything. So and a thumbnail, a good thumbnail hurts too. Go tomorrow, Mako, nerdrotic.com. It'll have an answer. I'll have figured it out by then. But I am like, True Calling. Oh my God. True Calling movie Fenobi.
Yeah,
I completely forgot about that.
Everyone did. They were trying to. But there's not enough alcohol in the world, unfortunately. Nor enough flamethrowers.
Polly Simeon, thank you. The Expanse book reviews are coming very soon. I'd say Leviathan Wakes is within a few days. Ooh. I'm going to do the first 2 during the season, and then I'm going to do the rest. What donkey balls? See, you can't say it in the super chat. Artemis over easy with $10. Thank you.
Thank you, Artemis.
Thank Artemis. Donkey balls, donkey balls, donkey balls. There, I said it 3 times.
Mork says cha-ching balls.
Bad Bunny just says drugs. Did you run out, Bad? Sorry about that. Can't help you.
I was at the medical marijuana conference earlier, and they didn't have anything, so I was kind of disappointed by that.
Should I start reading Leviathan Wakes? Says Mako. Yes, I will spoil the crap out of it. You got a few days. There's you can go to Audible and listen to it as an audiobook. It's very, very good.
Oh God, Polly Simeon says, "Don't skimp out either, Gary. Be expansive." And then he says, "I'll show myself
out." You're on a timeout.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit here and see what we can find. Bad Bunny said, "Figured Expanse would be roughly 3.2 million per episode. Best guess."
I was thinking, what for Star Trek or
Expanse?
Yeah, I was thinking that Expanse has to be like less than half that, and it looks so much better. I mean, some of Star Trek special effects did look good. Okay, the actual Discovery is a good looking ship, and it's actually an old Enterprise design. But they didn't look $5 million better than the Expanse. Not even close. No. Rail Mocker. Haven't read Persepolis Rising yet. Waiting for a smaller paperback version. That's what I collect. Yeah, it's good to wait on that. I need to reread that one again.
Ahmed E says, "I hate CW. Smallville was like Lost. It gave you an impression that it was leading somewhere, and stupid Tom Welling refused to don the cape and tights." Yeah, man, that last episode just burned everyone.
That was like nerd rage. What's up, Ed Brewer? How's it going, man? I had such insane nerd rage when that last episode. I was fucking so fucking mad, and I was still mad the next day at the store. You remember? I was like, I came in seething at the comic store, and like, don't even mention that fucking show. Fuck that fucking show.
And of course, I said, so what'd you think about Smallville?
Spurg. Yeah, I spurged out pretty hard. The only thing I spurged out harder on was the Crystal Skull when I threw all the comic books in the trash.
Oh, I remember that. That was actually a good one too. Yeah. There's been some really good ones that he's really kind of just freaked out on.
Fucking lost my mind. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was pretty bad. I've calmed down since then.
I don't know. My last one that I just really went off on was Here on Camera. So you saw it with Solo. That I pretty much lost it on that one, but that was with good reason.
Yeah, I just the minute they announced Solo, I was just like, we're talking about it again. We're not supposed to talk about it. I was just like, he's dead. I don't care.
I just need to get it out of my system. Was what it was.
Everything is filmed in Canada. And they have a very less tax for movie studios. So their tax policy, they must give them good breaks up there.
Yeah.
Is it in Vancouver or
Vancouver? Yeah. Yeah, Vancouver is actually, I was just in Vancouver in November, and I took a lot of pictures of all the places around where The Flash has actually filmed.
Ah, cool.
Because it's a lot of downtown. And so, like, where Barry used to work, in the police station, that's actually a museum, if I remember correctly. So I actually took a picture of that and posted it up, and it was kind of funny. And, they do a lot of work out in the park. Like, there's this gigantic park up in Vancouver there, and they do a lot of work out there.
Jody, I forgot. I just lost. There are two things Jody's gonna say there. Something's horrible when Dennis loses his shit, right? Yeah. When his Kara-meter hits past 1, that is impressive. That is impressive.
Kara-meter, I love that.
Kara-meter.
It's my give a shit-ometer.
They did make a huge deal out of getting the Superman suit from Brandon Ruth. I remember that. That was they made this big deal, and the word on the street is Tom Welling did that like last minute to him. Like, he didn't want to put it on. Wow. And the word on the street was he felt a little fat and didn't want to put it on.
Well, he was a little fat. He still is a little fat. Actually, he's a lot fat now. Yes,
well, and I wouldn't have given a shit. You know what? George Reeves had a boiler too.
Yeah, he did.
And I didn't care. He just pulled his little red underwear up a little more farther, and
that's because George Reeves was awesome, man. He was Superman for a while there, and he owned it.
Did he have a man girl?
Oh yeah, he did. He did have a girdle.
Yeah, so did William Shatner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
And Shatner had that toupee that stayed on most of the time when he was doing the fight scenes. Oh yeah. Oh god, when he used to ride Hood like anybody else, man. I mean,
nobody's business.
Yeah, I think they did a whole episode on SNL about him riding Hood for like miles, where the guy actually stopped and got gas because he had fallen asleep on the hood. Yeah, so
cool.
Ed, you came in the end, but as Viking Bitch pointed out during my live stream, I think I said I was wrapping things up, and then I went on for another hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, we should probably wrap things up here.
Should wrap things up, but somebody said how many subs do we have to go to 4,000?
28 or something like that, I think is what we
got 32.
32. That's
not bad. It's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. Philip A. Demick says, I thought it was canon that Kirk had a tribble on his head.
It is.
Oh, that was good.
That was pretty good. All right. It was an hour. Was it an hour? Okay.
Yeah, Viking Bitch says it's the Minnesota goodbye. It takes at least an hour.
Takes an hour. Okay. Well, now that you said no dislikes yet, they were coming. Hey, we had 0 dislikes on our Expanse video up until like this afternoon. That was pretty good. That was impressive. That went like days without getting a dislike.
It was because someone was lax.
John didn't watch the video until today.
I didn't have internet access today. Okay,
yeah,
so.
see, that's right. As soon as you had internet access, yeah, I know it's you. Okay. Yeah, we can wrap it up. So, yeah, Expanse books reviews coming soon. Oh, tomorrow, Dennis and I, and yeah, Susan, you're welcome if you got time.
That's right.
We're going to be hosting the finale for Comic Book Thunderdome on I Love Comics channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, so Dennis and I will be there, and Susan, again, you could come and not. I can give you details later. It's
Okay.
it's basically 2 nerds. It's the finals. So he's been doing this for a long time, and England team can't host it himself because he's actually the finalist against Unrake Chevron, who knows his shit. And we give them basically speed round questions, and they have to debate. It's like a nerd debate, and there might actually be blood and fighting, and I'm kind of hoping for that. So,
sweet.
Morks.
Nerd
rage. So yeah, so that's going to be at I Love Comics at 6 p.m. if you want to check it out. We'll be there.
No, I believe that was Batmite in issue number 235.
No, that was Mr. Mixelplix. Okay. Mr. Mixelplix. Yeah. Oh, good to see you too, Talim. You are in at the end. I'm sorry to say. Jody, yeah, maybe you don't tease us with George Reeves, Christopher Reeves, John Hames Newton, Gerard, Christopher, and freaking Dean Cain, who wore suits. Why not Welling? Because obviously he was too good for it. Yeah.
And you forgot Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
And James Cavell, or Henry Cavell. Henry Cavell. Not James Cavell. It's a different Cavell.
Grainy broils.
Nerds. Bad Bunny says balls.
Bill Shatner, 4 shots of espresso, coffee syrup, cocoa, and several whole beans floated on the top. Really?
Oh, I love it. Oh,
that's the Bill Shatner? Holy shit.
Oh, I want it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I must have it.
What is that?
Good
comic book by impression there, says Jody to Dennis. There you go.
And to you.
2.5 hours a record. Marcus, not even close. 4 hours is our
record. We had that 4-hour one that just went on and on. I think by the end there, we were just, kind of, I don't know, we were just pulling all kinds of crap out of our ass that last time. Polly Simeon says, I said Welling was the longest Superman. I meant Dean Cain.
Slaps head. It's okay.
That's fine.
Hey, Doug showed us something kind of cool today. That Doug, the official Dougie J, he sent me a little message saying that our little YouTube channel has more subscribers than the official Henry Rollins channel.
Wow,
which I thought was a big fucking deal. Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, he's got like 3,500 subscribers. I don't think he puts a lot of attention to it, like because he could have millions. And that's and that made me think is like, how's that dude not on YouTube? All he likes, and I forgot he's kind of a technophobe, but all he does is talk, like about himself, and he's really good at it. Like his spoken word shit is amazing. If you haven't seen any of it, check out Henry Rollins' spoken word, especially from the 90s. It's quite good.
Uber intelligent.
I was just going to say, yeah. Oh no, go ahead, Susan.
No, I was just going to say that people think, because Henry was, a punk rocker back in the day, that he probably doesn't have a lot going on upstairs, but he's a smart guy. I mean, he's like genius level smart.
Yeah. We had guys like El Duce and, some numb nuts, but we also had, Milo, who is a brain surgeon from the Descendants. When he goes to college, he became a brain surgeon.
That's right.
We got Henry Rollins. And I'm blanking on his name now, but the lead singer of Bad Religion's a professor. Yeah, there's a bunch of brainy people in punk rock.
Yep. And yeah, I was just going to say, Gary, his 90s stuff is awesome.
Oh yeah. I was there for every second of it.
Oh no, I'm talking about his spoken word stuff.
His spoken. Yeah. Oh no, I was there for every second of it. I watched him. Doug, how many times do we see him? Like a gazillion times. a gazillion times.
Yeah, because he had a TV show on in late
TV
90s,
show.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
No, dude, it was on when I lived up here. It was still on.
Oh yeah, it
Henry
went on
Rollins
for
show
like
was
10 years.
The early aughts, yeah.
Yeah.
It was on IFC or something like that.
Yeah, it was IFC if I remember correctly.
No, every time he got like near San Diego, we were going to see his spoken word. I've seen his spoken word more than I've seen his band. So
yeah, because it was Dennis Miller had started off doing his. This is when Dennis Miller, before he went nuts, when he was doing some really good stuff on his TV show on CBS, and then Henry Rollins came in and started doing his show. And I remember I was watching him because it was like back to back. It was really good stuff. And then Henry Rollins just kind of surpassed Dennis Miller because that's when he started kind of going over the edge there, and was just awesome.
Grady, yes, I've seen Jello do poetry. It's crazy. I've seen, yeah. Jello can be seen here up in town if you go to certain haunts. He's walking around San Francisco.
Yeah,
in his snake skin shoes. Yes, Nick Cage was going to be Superman, and thank God that never happened.
He is Superman in the new Teen Titans Go.
Yeah,
he's voicing it, which I just saw the trailer for, dude, and I started laughing my ass off.
There's no way in hell I'm going to watch Teen Titans Go.
I'm going to go and watch it.
Fucking years.
But that's because it makes me laugh.
Yes, and it's for 6-year-olds, but
it is. That's why I'm a 6-year-old. I love that.
Move Finobi, yes. Doomcock and other guests too. Yeah, I want to get Doomcock back. I haven't talked to Doomcock. Has he put out a video lately? I think he's been busy. Or maybe Solo just took it out of him. Maybe that was it.
He just retired. He's like, fuck this. I'm not doing it anymore.
I can't do it anymore. I really wanted to talk to him about the Saturn Awards. I thought that was a great idea Susan fed to us.
Yeah.
Can you see the chat, Susan?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what, Viking bitch? She says, I have a feeling that Doomcock is coming up with something brilliant. He has been quiet for a few days. He's probably planning on something to take over the world with. He's been working quietly in his lair.
Yes. It's been over a week since he's had a video. You know what? I'll just ask him.
Yeah.
I'll just send him a message going, what's up? Because we're boys now. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Nihilist Shadow. 6 years old deserve better than Teen Titans Go. It's actually pretty damn funny.
I agree, Nihilist Shadow. Thank you for speaking fucking some reason. They're bringing back the classic one, I heard. That's a possibility. The voice actor said that they might bring back the classic version of
they said Titans. If the movie does well.
The Teen Titans Go movie?
Yes.
Why would that have to relate to the other?
Because all the voice actors were the original. They were the ones that were the original voice.
But they're not the same thing. That's the thing. They're like totally not the same thing.
But I think the movie ties the money for that ties into how they would restart it.
Because everybody hates Teen Titans Go and everybody loves the old Teen Titans cartoon, at least in the comic community. I don't know about the general population, but
you enjoyed the panel at Comic-Con.
It was okay. I mean, I don't like Teen Titans Go though. No, hell no.
Yes, I do agree. 6-year-olds do deserve better than that Thundercats crap that's being rebooted. Yes, that is an abomination.
I don't see what the difference is between the two, but yeah. Teen Titans Go look like a bunch of heads running around.
What was that, Susan?
Mako. Here he is getting up there. Avocado toast, friends with Doomcock. What are you saying, Mako?
He's getting big up there, you know. He's just rolling now.
Avocado toast is okay. It's an indulgence. And did you guys see on the Facebook group? I found some at a restaurant. It was fucking $12.
Yeah.
$12 fucking dollars. But it was really good though. It was really good.
You know that $12 means you don't have to get avocado hand.
Yeah.
That sounds. Are we talking about avocados anymore?
Yeah, no. Avocado hand is a real thing. That is a medical term that they have used in the emergency rooms now from the idiots that cut their hands because they're slicing avocados in their hand and they're cutting through the avocado skin into their hands.
Okay, and they don't realize that, like, if it's a good avocado, you can cut it with a spoon, fool.
Yeah.
Okay, Greetings, vagabonds, rogues, and legionnaires. That's my best Dick Von Doomcock. There you go.
Wait, Dennis, you mean there's another Thundercats reboot? Yeah, we talked about it last week, Jody. Or was it last week or the week before?
It's Steven Universe animation.
Yeah, it looks really bad. Yeah.
It's 2 weeks ago for Doomcock. Okay, we're gonna have to start. We're gonna have to go looking for him now.
Yeah, he might be in a ball in the lair down there, cuddling with Cthulhu, just rocking back and forth over about what Solo did to him.
Yeah. Oh, so when we hit, okay, if we hit 4,000 subs, I will be going live when that happens, and I want to do something like on location, so I might actually do the avocado toast thing. It's going to be from downtown San Francisco. I guarantee you that. Ball count. Mark's ball count still at 2, sir.
Testes 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, use a spoon. Yes, if it's a good avocado, you can just with the spoon. Okay. But Dennis lives close to where like the best are grown in the world. Okay, Fallbrook. That's where my mom lives. I knew it, Gary. Is Doomcock rumors confirmed? I am not Doomcock. Okay, I am not Doomcock. No.
Doomcock's classy.
Yeah.
Polly Simmons says this channel is my only notification channel. Cool, thank you.
Awesome. Wow, thanks. Do you get the notifications? That's the next question.
Grady Broyle says, is anyone going to acknowledge the genius of a guy who can get grown adults to say Doomcock over and over again into a microphone? I am in awe.
Right, Grady? That was his name, for one, was what attracted me to him. And then, like, just when I saw his, I don't want to call it shtick, his brilliant fucking theatrics, I was in love. I fell in YouTube love with Doomcock. But yes, that the name in itself is man, it's like I wish I would have thought of that fucker. Dictor Von Doomcock.
Marcus Kahn says use a butter knife, no problems ever. See, the thing is though, Marcus Kahn, that means you have to use 2 knives. You have to use a sharp knife in order to cut it in half, and then you have to use a butter knife in order to cut the inside. So people don't want to do that, so they only use the one knife, which is why you get avocado hand. Because also, if you're really stupid and you just don't know what pressure is, you cut right through that avocado skin into your hand. I've cut many an avocado in my day, and I still have never cut my hand. I've never gone through it.
Oh, he's so cutting his hand now. That is happening within a week. The countdown is on. Even if I'm on some porn site, I always come here the moment the notification says Mako. Wow. Thanks, man.
The warm and fuzzies, Mako. Thank you. Wow.
I'm just not going to tell you where. It gives me the warm and fuzzies. Oh, okay, man. It's really digressed into avocado and inappropriate warm and fuzzy talk. So we're gonna leave it at that. And here, first off, I want to thank the super chats. Here, we can even show them. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's see the super chats there.
Let's see the super chats. We got Google's covering up one. There we go. Movie Fanobi, $1.99. Susan's deep thoughts. $1.99.
My deep thoughts.
Night only. Dakota Stanton, always going to work. I'm at work, so I didn't know how long I could stay. But y'all, Age of Heroes. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Game of Thrones talk. And then payment is due. 900. Susan 69. $1.99. And then Artemis over easy with $10. Damn, I could almost buy another slice of avocado toast. It says donkey balls. Balls. Almost. It's all right. Dennis, you can loan me $2. I'll pay
$12.99.
I'll pay you back never.
Avocado toast is just too damn high.
It's too damn high. Everybody in the chat, you know who you are. I can't thank you tonight. I'm sorry. But everybody in there, you're awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Make this show. You're wonderful. Everybody, look at these wonderful chatters. If you're watching this on the video, they are freaking great.
Yeah, they make us laugh. And they give us, they correct us quite a bit, which is good because we need correcting quite a bit.
Yeah, the party's still going out there. It really is still going. Oof, man, I am tired. It just hit me like how fucking tired I am. My God, it's been a long day.
Yes, the next review we're going to see you guys with, well, besides the Thunderdome thing that we're going to be doing tomorrow night, the next review on our channel we're going to see you is with Westworld.
Westworld, 7:15 p.m. Pacific time. Susan, what do you got? What do you got going on in your world?
Oh man. Well, I'm always working on my book. That's one of my big projects right now. So working on that, and 1428. Finding me on Twitter at Susan on the Ledge, and at Facebook, same thing. You can catch me on Instagram at Conversion. I constantly, post on there when I get a chance, so you can see some of my deep thoughts along with deep pictures.
That's brilliant. By the way, Nerdrotic's Instagram is going to be coming back to life. You just made me think of that. Because it was monitored by Mrs. Nerdrotic, but then Mrs. Nerdrotic got really busy and stopped monitoring it. So Mrs. Nerdrotic has to take it back over again because she got too busy. So yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. And yeah, 7:15 Westworld tomorrow night, 6 p.m. For Comic Book Thunderdome. And who knows if when we hit 4K, there'll be a surprise video from somewhere. So Dennis, take us out. And again, sorry, Dennis. Sorry.
No, that's problem.
I apologize. We can't thank everybody in the chat tonight. We will next week, but
yes,
I've really got to go. So, Dennis, take us out.
Children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you might end up on STD. No one wants that.
Nobody wants that, especially the bill. The bill from the clinic on that one would be rough, especially if you don't have insurance. Deductibles, man, deductibles. Say goodnight, Susan.
Good night, Susan.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.